Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Valence League. We're in Split 2 of this year, and we're in our third division. I am Motojo. I'm joined by Samurai Casts, and we are here to bring you a game of the final week of group stages in this third division between teams 50-50 and Gracelight Ruby. This will still be important for playoff seeding. And Samurai, are you as excited as I am for this one?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Hi, everyone in the chat. Good to see everyone here. Hopefully we'll get some people in. In fact, I'm the only person watching right now, so that's not good. We'll have some people come in soon. We have started this. We'll get the notification up. But yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling in the flow. We've got so many banging games. This is the last week of groups. I just cannot wait to just cast it, get into it, and yeah, see two teams we don't usually see on the cast, Gracelight Ruby and 50-50, perform in a crucial match for their seeding, and to see if they've got what it takes when it comes to playoffs, Joe.
Yeah, especially for the side of Gracelight Ruby, who have been on an absolute tear since their defeat to our unbeaten team. They have not dropped a single game, and they seem to be in playoff form, but they will need to confirm that against 50-50, who are still looking for a third place, possibly, in this division.
Yeah, and we'll actually go to the stream now of the table of where these teams are. You know, Quantify Force clearly in the lead, but it's towards that bot side. Quantify Nova have to win at least one game in the series against Frostbite Mayhem to out-qualify Outlaw Cowboys. Frostbite Mayhem, by the way, I know it looks wrong on the table, but Frostbite Mayhem have already qualified. They're ahead of Outlaw Cowboys. They have no more games left to play, given the fact that this week they are against Limelight Avalon, who have already surrendered. So they have already gotten that game. So yeah, it's looking towards Quantify Nova and that game of the two supposed to be Div 4 teams. But yeah, right now we're covering Gracelight Ruby recently taking the mantle, Joe, of the second best team. Be interesting to see how they're able to play if they want to challenge the undefeated team in playoffs, Quantify Force.
Yeah, and they have made a statement the last time they were out. They dismantled Frostbite Mystics, who were seen as somewhat of a favorite team towards the season, but Gracelight Ruby now looking to challenge Quantify Force and looking to show everybody and themselves that they've got what it takes to be a real threat towards Quantify Force, who have gone through this entire group stage undefeated, only dropping 3 individual games.
Yeah, and also just quickly, you know, while we're waiting for game one, please just let me know in the chat about volume, and you know, I'll be listening and taking you guys when we go to the interviews. You guys are crucial to be able to give us those questions when we dig into what these teams are thinking about. And we'll also just quickly, I won't do the whole rock music. I don't know if you've caught the recent streams, but we usually do a little bit of a show and tell, but around all the results. But we'll just look at the other games that are being casted. That is actually a little wrong. Outlaw Cowboys versus Limelight Avalon has already been decided. It was a 2-0 to Outlaw Cowboys. They are not playing tonight. But the other games are Frostbite Mystics versus Ablaze. That'll be an interesting one. Hopefully Mystics can overcome their bad turn of run, but that massive game, Quantify Nova versus Frostbite Mayhem, is going to be an absolute banger. We'll be giving you all the information in there as possible. Do not worry, Exodia, who I see in the chat of the lobby. We will be lovely to you, as we're lovely to all of our people who come and are able to be a part of the stream. It's always nice, and it can be scary sometimes going on a stream, and it's a new experience for many. It's a very familiar experience for some as well, but we always try and keep good vibes, don't we, Joe?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that crucial game between Nova and Mayhem, the most important part here is there could be a 4th place looking for either of them, or there could be 7th place, which would mean not even playoffs. 50-50 are at worst 6th, so they are looking at playoffs, but they do want that 4th seed instead of that 6th one, if they can in any way do that. So this is going to be real interesting, who makes playoffs and who doesn't. But for tonight, Gracelight Ruby is our team to watch, because they are, as we mentioned, looking to be the challengers of Quantify Force. And I'm really happy that we're about to get into it as the teams are prepared in the lobby.
Yeah, it's really been the story. Power Fruit has been really good as a jungler, really outperforming his rank, but the Incisor stronger bot lane is something you'll be very familiar if you read the VLDR weeklies. Fortunately, I've been able to take and edit those recently on the, if you've noticed the Div 3 sort of recaps going from 3 sentences to like 20. You've got me to thank for that. But yeah, this Incisor stronger bot lane is so deadly. They're able to play so well together. Stronger and Incisor, they used to play those aggressive lanes. Shadow Hopper as well on the mid lane. Really nice on those mages. And yeah, it's a team that just functions really well together. It's a team that plays as a 5-man. It's not solo queue, gods, but 50-50, they have got the ranks. They have, they did do quite well in the early part of the split, so this could be a lot closer if 50-50 bring their A game. So I think that we could have a little bit of a banger if the right things come into play.
Yeah, and you mentioned this bot lane matchup with Incisor and Stronger, and this is going to be even more interesting as we are about to see Team 50-50 do have an emergency sub on the AD carry position with Maritan, who has quite the good ranking in solo queue, but we'll have to see how well the synergy with Lyre on support is going to be, especially against that well-oiled machine that Gracelight Ruby have shown themselves to be recently. Of course, a team full of VL veterans. We have seen some of these players for a long time now in this league, and they should be pretty used at playing together. Now we'll have to see if the synergy is even close to there at 50-50, because they'll need it to make a challenge to this team.
Yeah, it will be interesting how Maritan sort of fits into the whole situation. He had to be E-subbed in, which, as a consequence, means all their first 3 bans will be lost on the side of 50-50. No bans out. I'm not going to say there's a particular champion here where... Oh, we are into game. Hopefully... oh, yes, the site works. Let's go. No technical difficulties for this game, baby. Let's go.
We aren't beginners like the LCS here. We know what we're doing.
I knew it was coming. But yeah, it's 50-50 on the blue side. They actually got the side selection, decided to choose blue. It's nice. Usually in sort of the higher leagues, you usually want that first pick, but we've seen a very split strategy when it comes to drafts in VL. Sometimes you get people wanting red side, really wanting those R3, R5 picks. Can be a lot easier to draft sometimes, but with blue side for 50-50, maybe they're looking for a flex, maybe they're looking for just a power pick like Rek'Sai in the jungle. Are they going to go for a Syndra, or there could be so many things coming out of 50-50. Oh, the bans are fucked. No, we've got one, but yeah, we have got one of them. Yeah, the bans aren't correct. It's 50-50 aren't banning. It's Gracelight Ruby, so just in your mind, switch the bans around. Apologies for that one, folks.
Yeah, especially with missing the first 3 bans, blue side can be very important, especially for the team missing the bans. So you at least have some form of pseudo ban in the first pick. So at least one champion you really don't want the enemy team to get, that you would normally ban. If you can at all play it, you can at least have the first pick there, pick that away, have it for yourself. So I think that is one of the reasons that they did choose this blue side. Will make it a lot easier for red side to draft the counter picks with the lack of bans on blue side. Interesting to see then what's going to happen there, if they prioritize just counter picking whatever gets picked first by the side of 50-50, or if they just look for power picks in the early stages and then look for the counter picks in the last phase.
Yeah, Sejuani locked in for 50-50. Now, while that is technically a flex, if you viewers are a little confused, Glow On is usually the support for 50-50, but with the rearranging they had to do, Glow On will now be in the jungle. That is probably going to be his pick. It's a very safe champion, quite easy to pick up. The Maokai matched as well here, Joe, is tanks in the mid lane with good supportive CC, maybe looking to play around any bot lane 5v5 comps.
Yeah, 2023 has been going on for a while. It's July. It's July, guys. Can we change the meta a little bit? No, we can not. We are playing all the same champions that we've been playing all year. Sejuani, Maokai, Draven. These are all staples of the season in pro play as in VL. But the Draven is going to be a very focal point for the match with that Incisor stronger bot lane you mentioned. They really are going to count on their synergy to get this Draven ahead early on, and if a Draven gets rolling, he's rolling, baby.
Absolutely, and it's either Draven or Samira for Incisor. Just really good, aggressive bot lane as we were talking about. The Varus and the Thresh is actually, so Varus being quite a good counter into Draven. He can really land his poke because you know where those axes are going to land. The Ahri locked in, one of the most meta mid laners right now, picked up. That is a power trio using that R3 from Gracelight Ruby and then banning out some of the champions that can give it difficulty like the Syndra. So Gracelight Ruby using all the advantages of red side here.
Yeah, this one's for Nimera. If he's watching, or if he were watching, he would love the Ahri. Always when that gets picked, no matter where, you can almost count on a Nimera tweet if he sees it. Blitzcrank is the next ban. That is an interesting one, because from what I've usually seen as a Thresh, you're not that afraid of the Blitzcrank with the Lantern. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it is very much... This is more a stronger targeted ban. You can have an amazing counter pick just in general, but if you're going up against a player's, if you go up against a one-trick Nasus, no matter how good your Darius or Teemo or any counter to it is, you might just want to end up banning it out anyway. And another pick is, there we go. It was the Nautilus. I was wondering if it was going to get banned. The Pike is still up for stronger, which could be nice to pick up if you really want to double down on those hook champions, but we will certainly be seeing the support probably wanting to leave that top lane pick open for Goth baddies so we can get that counter pick.
Yeah, that would be a great choice because top lane, people do meme it, top lane not mattering, right? But especially in the amateur leagues, if you get a league in top lane on the correct champion, you can really start rolling over the game. The Rel is the pick. When you can't get a hook champion that's tanky, well, you might as well just go all in with a Draven anyway, so the Rel, a choice that makes a lot of sense here.
Another stronger classic as well, and this team comp is just playing to everything that Gracelight Ruby have. 50-50 not having these first three bans is just it allows Gracelight Ruby to just pick their strongest champions. Literally all of these champions are some of the strongest in slot right now. Olaf being picked up in the top lane can be quite aggressive, usually has good matchups in most, and Kassadin into the Ahri. We're gonna get some faker Kassadin here in game one.
Look, I'm not gonna say I hate it. I love Kassadin. I always love watching Kassadin. It was one of my very first champions that I mained, so I always love seeing Kassadin played. It's all going to depend on Exodia's early laning, if they can weather the storm of being a melee into a ranged champion. But then once level 6 and especially once level 11 come rolling around, the Kassadin could run amok against this fairly short-range team comp on the side of Gracelight Ruby, but they can go all in with a lot of what they have. They have such long-range engage. They might not have a lot of long-range poke against the likes of the Varus, but with Malphite, with Maokai, with Rel, if they want the go button, they will press the go button.
Wait, are they doing Olaf jungle even? They might be moving this Sejuani to the top side. It does have magic damage. It is sort of a better tank, maybe can deal with the Malphite a bit better. Yeah, we are going to see the glow on Olaf. So that Sejuani flexed into the top side for FF the Wizards, so that'll be a fun one to watch, but we do have a little bit of a delay, 3-minute delay. You know, we don't run on tournament realms. We don't have that kind of gauntlet power, so we'll just be waiting here in the spectator client. But speaking of Exodia, I think the Gracelight Ruby comp has Exodia. I think this is a team comp that it's great with pick. It has great, CC. Might lack a little bit of damage if this Ari can't get going. Maokai, if he doesn't go, that demonic embrace might be missing a little bit of damage, but so much CC, so much setup for a Draven. Forget the Malphite. Ari is nice, but just go Draven Rel every single minute for the Maokai and get those early Drakes stacking.
Yeah, Incisor is going to be absolutely crucial. Even when Ari goes damage, unless she's massively ahead, she's not going to do a lot of damage to the Sejuani or maybe even to the Olaf, depending on the build. But I still definitely don't want to see an Everfrost on the Ari this game. You need to at least do a little bit of damage to the squishies. Because with Malphite, Maokai, Rel, if the Draven ever dies, and they have enough backline die with the Olaf and the Kassadin on the other side, they would just get run over, because you can be as tanky as you want. If you can't kill the enemy, you will just get run over every time. So protect your Draven, use your engage wisely, and make sure the Ari is in a position to assassinate the Varus, maybe.
Yeah, we got some of our players in the chat as well. Marathon, I see you there. Also, Mimit Shield, he is the coach for 50/50, so maybe try and get some tips off of us. I was casting the Quantify Tournament Cup recently. It was a great 2-day experience. We're going to be doing that again next weekend. And one of the teams, it was day one, it was Deja Meters Boosted. It waited for the exact picks, went through our scenes and chose the exact champions we thought they were going to play, and then just picked those champions. And were asking us in chat, what should we ban? And it was like, what do you want us to do? But they ended up winning that series, so yeah, maybe chat is the place to be. So yeah, I'm liking Gracelight Ruby, but if this Kassadin can get going, if this, Varus and Olaf, they do have the damage, they also have a lot of CC for themselves, we really will have to look towards this bot lane to see where these junglers can get the advantages and how they can dictate that early to mid game.
Yeah, I was going to count on your game knowledge over mine to tell me now which is the most crucial matchup just from champions alone, because from players we can kind of deduce bot lane is going to be where it's happening, but just from the champions, if nameplates are off, what's the lane you're watching most in the first 10 to 15 minutes?
It has to be bot lane. It has to be bot lane. And I mean, if this Draven can't get rolling, it really does give Kassadin that little bit of, oh god, is this Kassadin time? Is this Kassadin 16 moment? So we saw this as well in the Quantified Tournament Cup, where it was a Draven, I think it was a Draven Rel as well. It was Draven Rel with a Vi jungle, but they were able to get no objectives early. And because of that, the enemy team, they didn't have, I think it was Ezreal Nautilus they were against. It still wasn't amazing, but because they got those dragons, the Draven and Rel couldn't close out that game. Draven had a 4k gold lead, but just didn't have the resources to be able to end the game and force those crucial fights to happen when you can just give up objectives because you're not worried about dragon stacking. So how Olaf and Maokai play around this bot lane, get that vision, will be crucial as well in the river. And then I think, we'll see how this early to mid game goes. Unless you wanted me to say Sejuani and Malphite being the matchup to watch. I don't know.
I mean, I as a tank enjoyer myself, I would have hoped so, but I know how dull it can look when two wet noodles slam into each other.
I love that. So. I love that meme. I love the the fan versus enjoyer. Just how much it the lexicon. Whenever you say enjoyer, you just understand the context around that. And I love that. I love that sort of that meme language that's been introduced. Wow, that's amazing. For somehow on my cast source, it's showing the game before I can see it. So OBS is in the future apparently. So you're going to be seeing it before I do, chat. So that's nice for them.
Yeah. Lights are still out on Summoner's Rift, though.
People are in bed. They're going to be waking up.
When we can start looking at what's happening here. I've got time running. I will pause myself at the 10-second mark so we can synchronize. But we're about to get into it in this game.
Yep, I'm also at 10 seconds. So whenever you're ready, let's go 3, 2, 1. And let's go.
All right, we are live on Summoner's Rift here in Valence League's second split, the last week of group stages for Division 3. As a reminder, blue side is team 50-50, red side, we have their opponents whose name I'm currently forgetting, but that won't be
50-50 versus
again.
Gracelight.
All right, Gracelight on red side. The teams are fanning out. No fancy level 1 invades.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
But the supports are looking at each other menacingly. Something interesting I wanted to mention before the game starts. Only 3 flashes on the side of 50-50. Neither Olaf nor Sejuani opting for that normally omnipresent summoner spell with Smite and Ghost and with Teleport and Ignite on the top side. I'm not sure I agree with the Ignite pick against the tank, but, you know, maybe it helps the matchup early.
Maybe just wanting, like, if Sejuani predicts there is going to be no jungle pressure on this top side, just saying, I want as much lane advantage as I can, as much space, so when that 10-minute mark comes around, I have the space to TP down, those advantages, so that this Draven just can't feel as safe, maybe in those fights, if Goth Baddies just gets bursted down. But yeah, not having that Sejuani flash engage might end up biting them back, as yeah, the Malphite flash engage with that unstoppable force. I mean, I don't need to say anything about that to chat, because that is one I think all of us have faced at some point.
Yeah, rock solid.
Oh god, I can't go to my other screen. So oh well, we will just have to stick with this for now.
Terrifying. Contrary to the top laners, that could be a terrifying prospect, as Incisor is starting to throw those axes at Marathon. We'll have to see how that matchup develops in the early stages, as FF the Wizard does get the early level 2. It's a good trade onto Goth Baddies.
Yeah, both junglers going bot to top here, so that's probably going to mean maybe they've sensed, hey, both melee top laners, when they don't have a lot of tank items, might be the best place to go, especially for the Olaf, because you know that Frostbite passive on Sejuani is going to stack twice as fast with that melee synergy that it has. But you're leaving Draven and Stronger, you know, think if this Olaf paths top to bot here, and you've got Incisor and Stronger pushing towards that turret, that'd be very exposed for them. But going towards this top side, which, to be fair, is trading quite hard, as is the mid lane, Joe.
Yeah, that was a big charm from Shadowhopper, as the top laners are smacking each other in the face, and Goth Baddies below 200 HP here. We'll have to be very careful. Because the Wizard is still looking pretty healthy, and remember, it's the Ignite on the Sejuani. If one more CC piece would land, that could already be pretty lethal. And as such, Goth Baddies is looking to find an opportunity to recall, despite Power Fruit being on the top side.
Yeah, it's so low health up here. I think both teams understood, you know, we have our jungler pathing top side. Let's make it worth it for them, you know. Not just a snooze fest, but actually a pretty much of a banger, which, you know, enjoy it now, folks, because this is tank on tank. So we get what we take what we can get here on the top side. It'll be Maokai actually the first one to move up here, with Olaf currently on the Raptors. So we'll see. Maybe Maokai gets caught out here.
Yeah, this could be a big fight in the top lane. Power Fruit's only half HP, immediately flashes away after being hit by the axe, despite the Wizard not really having any mana, but the threat was definitely there with the Olaf connecting the axe on such high HP. Ghost available, so probably the wise choice to not try to engage there.
Yeah, Flash was preemptive, but very much needed, making sure that Maokai could survive, especially on the low health that he was. Olaf was backed, getting that pickaxe, which, to be fair, will allow Maokai to get a nice Rift Scuttle on the bot side. A bit more of an important one there, as you do want that vision for the bot side. With Dragon up as well, all the lanes are going to be thinking about recalling now.
Yeah, so far only the Olaf has been to base. But now with the Malphite pushing, Wizard comes back from base with a little bit of magic resist and a lot of damage onto Goth Baddies, but that is a big wave. I'm not sure you want to fight in that as the Wizard, so just backs off to tower. That means Goth Baddies can now also recall with a bit of a CS lead, but not a big one.
Yeah, you need to get these backs in before 5:30. Dragon is going to be up now, and this is when you will start needing the items for kill ranges for the plays. Hook goes wide there from Lyre, and you need these waves push, you need the prio, maybe not, you know, at 5, but at around that time. It's the 5:30 timer that I always talk about on casts, because if you can get that, you can get advantages for Dragon. That's usually where you can find the pick. But yeah, Shadowhopper in the mid lane. I'm just watching the CS right now, already at a 1 kill advantage CS-wise. So Yari doing her job in the early game.
Yeah, and also a plate. That's also more than half a kill with the plate gold, 175. We just saw that proc. I mean, of course, it's to be expected that Kassadin falls behind early into Ahri, but not that much, not that quickly, I'd say. A bit of a rough one for Exodia. Currently gets hit with the Q even while recalling. Not gonna make it easier. It's already double CS for Shadowhopper, who is dominating this early stage in the mid lane.
That recall stop is actually huge from Ahri. It will allow her to recall first, TP or not, depending on what she wants, and making sure Kassadin can't answer too quickly here will allow this Dragon take to be a lot easier. But Maokai pathing away, wanting to go to a second full clear. Olaf is deciding against it, not going towards his Gromp on the top side, but pinging towards the Dragon.
Yeah, I just pressed X for a little one, and Exodia is already 2 kills behind in gold, Shadowhopper. That is massive early on.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Yeah, 2200 to 1600 is a bit wild. A jungle is actually dead even right now, which means we'll still have a very competitive game, 50-50, even though they are not the bookies' favorites. Still making sure that they are competitive, making sure they're not making too many mistakes early. Credit to both junglers, the Olaf making sure that first dragon goes down, and Maokai punishing it a little by getting the Gromp, and also that Rift Scuttler probably on the top side.
Yeah, but if I'm 50-50, I will take that trade any day of the week. Mid lane is massively behind it, you still get the first dragon. That's huge, but meanwhile the wizard is being engaged on by Goth baddies. The ignite is down, there comes the ultimate back from the wizard. Goth flashes away, but needs to use the unstoppable force to survive. Now Power Fruit is here. I don't think Goth baddies wants to be that close here. Even with Power Fruit, that is not a tanky Maokai. He just has a blasting wand. This is not looking good. The wizard doesn't have a lot of mana. It's going to be ground down to the wire, and first blood does go to Power Fruit. Meanwhile, Shadowhopper is being chased by Lyre and Exodia. Here comes the Flay. Great one from Lyre. The Ignite is taking Flash for the hook. Forces Shadowhopper's Flash, and Exodia gets the ultimate on. Despite the flash away, Shadowhopper does die, so it's 1-for-1 over the map. What a series of events, and how close was that on both lanes?
Nice ult flash there from Exodia, making sure to get the kill. Crucial on this Kassadin, as you really do need it. Making sure to get online early will be amazing. Actually gets that with the Dark Seal, so 2 stacks on that will mean he will be a little more powerful in lane. But that top side, juggling that aggro from FF Wizard, making sure he's not getting, you know, the kills. And when Malphite had the shield up, the passive from his W, he was able to go in and secure the kill, getting it onto Maokai, which hopefully he can use that gold, transfer it to where he wants to. But Olaf responding, getting towards this Rift Herald.
Yeah, that would be the second neutral objective for the side of 50-50, who, despite falling very behind the mid lane when it comes to CS, are doing a great job of controlling the map. Now Incisor looking for the 1v1, but that, once again, is a huge wave that you don't want to be fighting in, despite 4 members of the team being in the southern quadrant of the game, but not choosing to try and go for Maritime. Now Shadowhopper gets jumped on again by Exodia. That Rift Walk, once it's online, immediately threatening for the Ahri. Whenever this charm is going to be on cooldown, Exodia will be looking for these trades.
Yeah, and the back that Kassadin got really tells you why he can go for the Lyre going over the wall.
That's a Flay, and it hits. The hook misses because Ahri gets away with the ultimate, but now that was one too deep for Exodia. The Lantern might save him though. Flash forward from Stronger, Ignite is on, and it's enough with a flash from Power Fruit, who gets that Q through. The charm lands onto Lyre too. Can they get the second kill? Yes, they can. The hook lands. It's a double kill for Power Fruit. Kill secured, he will say, to his team. And now they have a 1500 gold lead after that skirmish in the mid lane. Huge play.
Great roam from Strongo there, and good initiative from Powerfruit. They had so little damage. I was worried they were even going to be able to get those kills, but putting every tick of damage where they need, and they get 2 kills out of it. Maokai currently 3-0. Maybe not where you want it. Maybe you want that Ari getting a bit more of the kills, but Powerfruit going very deep here. I think he might be too deep here.
Yeah, that must be way too deep. He's all alone under this turret. Gives the shutdown over to Maritan. What was he doing there? That looked like win trading.
You have the shutdown. You don't need to press that far, especially on the tower with no minions. But he's caught fumbling his hands, realizes that both the laners and the junglers here can't get out. And yeah, you built up all of that lead only to give it away. And now Lyre once more.
Yeah, Gracelight Ruby are being chased here. Lyre lands the hook. Stronger goes away from his AD carry to make sure the Draven at least doesn't die here. But that's another kill for the side of 50/50, who are controlling this bot side of the map. 2 kills now on Maritan, who is making this Varus work.
Yeah, 50/50 pulling it back, you know. They may both be safe, but 50/50 do not want to go down to 5th or 6th. They don't want to go, and with the Rift Herald pop, they're putting everything on Maritan here.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of plates here in the bot side. Incisor doesn't have mana. They can't really make a play here, even with Powerfruit being present. Powerfruit has finished that Demonic Embrace, so the damage is going to be there from these Qs and from these saplings. But with the Draven with no mana and no one else there against 3 people, there was no way they could challenge that. They managed to stop the push, but yeah, this is going really well for 50/50 in the early game. They've now equalized the gold after they were 1,500 down just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, the body language from Gracelight very much suggesting they want this dragon, and very much so you don't want a team like 50/50 who just got that momentum to start dragon stacking with the 2nd dragon now up, although they are all running to this, and with Draven backing, that is huge. Varus will be the first one into lane. They hopefully will be able to get a bit more pressure, and yeah, already forcing Powerfruit back into his own jungle. There's a fight here, and it's brewing.
Yeah, they are all around here, but Draven is pretty far away. This is a scary one for the side of Gracelight, as everybody's fighting over that pixel brush. No wards surviving for now, but here comes a regular ward. There's a charm landing onto the Olaf, but that's not really the target you want, is it? Shadowhopper and Stronger running away. Glowon has popped that ghost and is going forward with the Ragnarok, but is it going to be enough? CC immune might be, but not to damage. Here comes Maokai from behind, and there's already a dead Olaf, and Sizer picks up the kill. That's going to be a lot of gold for the Draven. They keep going forward. They get the kill onto Lyre as well. Now Stronger could be the sacrificial lamb, but won't be, as they get Exodia as well, and Maritan all by themselves gets caught by the charm. Double kill for Shadowhopper. Disaster for 50/50.
This Kassadin just is not strong enough. He is not able to fight. He doesn't even have a completed item. The Catalyst is great for being safe in a lane, but they just do not have enough, even with the man advantage. Draven able to come in, cash out on those stacks. I didn't even see how much that was. 264 adoration stacks, getting a nice chunk of gold, and you see that translated into a 1k gold lead built instantly for the Draven. Gracelight in control.
Yeah, and 3,000 gold lead immediately for the team with that one fight. They get 4 bodies on the floor. They get the Infernal Drake as well, and now they should be firmly in control of this game while the top laners keep exchanging hits with their wet noodles. We all do know that the spectator client does love top lane, so we're going to have to watch them smack their noodles against each other a little more. But these fights have been so explosive in mid and bot, and 50/50 not looking good there. They were a bit over-eager there, trying to start the fight while Draven was not there, but they couldn't get on the priority targets, and then Olaf was dead before the rest of the team could follow him.
Yeah, he went in, he was trying to create space, trying to go on the Ahri, but he just blew up, and Powerfruit.
Yeah, that's ballsy. The flay hits, but Powerfruit goes forward, flashes out of the way. Here comes the teleport from the Malphite, but already the entire team is dead. 50/50 Exodia running for his life. Malphite has used the Unstoppable Force too, and once again, in the span of a few heartbeats, 3 members of 50/50 are dead for only 1 kill onto Powerfruit. That was just such a ballsy blue steal. And Gracelight were knowing what was happening from the beginning and had all the time in the world they needed to react and find a winning fight.
Yeah, I mean, you get power fruit, but what else? You've pushed into Gracelight's jungle when you're already at a 3k disadvantage. And they're able, credit to Stronger, getting a 3-man stun onto that rally once more.
No. That's a flash CC onto Exodia, but the Thresh is there to save it, and Stronger will die for it. Exodia is low HP, but Shadowhopper cannot continue under the turret. Got baddies and left the Wizard trade some blows, but here comes Power Fruit. Maybe they can make something happen. The Sejuani is quite far forward. The tower has fallen in the top side, so they've got something for themselves now, especially with the bounties on the objectives online. But still, it's a 3,000 gold lead for the side of Gracelight, and despite dropping a kill on an overeager engaged mid lane, they should still be firmly in control.
Yeah, 50-50's only gold lead in that top side for FF Wizard, but it's only 400 gold, and the rest of the map really suffering. You see that kind of in the items now. 2 items on this Draven already, able to build both the Yomus and turn that Sheen into an Essence Reaver. Lyre wanting to just get a hook, but he's got no friends with him. He will not be able to translate that into anything. And yeah, a 3k gold lead. You want to be getting these dragons, especially because it is a oh no, it's a Cloud Drake. Ah, you're fine. You can chill. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, but there is one more Rift Herald to fight over, and with a 3k gold lead and almost 2,000 on that, on the Ahri, who's dominating the side and currently no TP available, but it's looking like Shadowhopper, once this turret gets attacked under the turret, but like even with the turret, he seems to be winning these trades with how far ahead he is. 12 pages already in his book, as opposed to the 3 stacks Exodia's ring has. I know which champion I would rather be piloting right now, and it's not the Kassadin.
Yeah, one saving grace is that if Ahri is not able to push this Medjai's even further, this is going to be the strongest she is relative to Kassadin, because with the Rod of Ages now stacking, good trade there against Exodia, but with this Medjai stacking, she will, with the Rod of Ages stacking, she will only, Kassadin will only get higher in levels, recover a little bit of that AXP disadvantage. They're looking for this here.
Nature's Grasp just to make sure they get this mid lane turret, as Olaf has appeared in the bot lane. Glow on to make sure Exodia is a little bit safer there, and maybe they can at least hold on to their bot lane turret a little bit longer until this dragon is going to be spawning. But the mid lane turret lost, gold lead growing for Gracelight, who just seem to have a better plan here. But remember, when we look at these team comps, if they get in Scissor, even with how ahead Shadowhopper is, they could still turn this around.
Yeah, and that being said though, Insider has a lot easier positioning with 3 great tanks. Some top lane fighting, I don't think I need to... don't think this is gonna be... Oh my god, they just keep hitting each other. No, they want the grass procs. You might think this is aggressive, but this is actually them just giving each other hugs, making sure they're both as healthy as possible, you know, top lane bros. I used to play Nasus a lot, and, you know, you just sort of spam control 3. You know no one's coming to you, and so do they. So yeah, some good tank noodle fight in the top side.
Oh, this could be a trap here. Stronger in the bush. They know there's no vision. Charm lands into Olaf. Low on half HP while he pops the ultimate. He's immune, but now Stronger was all alone. They were 2v4. Not sure why they chose that engage when the teleport from Goth Baddies was so far away. Low on does fall to Incisors ultimate though, and here comes the cavalry from behind. The Wizard tried to get onto this Draven as a Sejuani, but he just cannot get past the Malphite. Shadowhopper might be dying, but will not, as the fight keeps going, and Sejuani and Varus are already dead. Lyre will fall as well. Double kill to Draven. Now the chase is on. Exodia cannot escape, and it's a triple kill for Incisor on the Draven. It's the ace for only 1 death for the side of Gracelight, and I'm not sure if it was lucky or it was actually a bait, but they do win the fight, only lose 1 member, get the Drake, and now are in an almost insurmountable lead. 7,000 gold below 20 minutes.
Shadowhopper goes into the depths of the enemy team and then dashes out of it, you know, making sure to execute Maratan, going towards, and then just dashes through the entire fight. And yet an ace at 18.5 minutes really shows you how this game has been going. It was close at the beginning. Gracelight Violet taking a huge lead here. Wait, is it no, Gracelight Violet Violet or Div 2.
Ruby.
Gracelight Ruby,
Actually,
yeah,
Ruby.
sorry. Honestly, my head, like, time becomes irrelevant when you cast VL for this long without a break. It all kind of fuses into one. But yeah, it was a great fight. And Ace as well is just going to put the hurt on so much more. This Draven now at 3 items to 1.5, and he's only going to get stronger, Joe.
Yeah, he's just cracked the 11,000 gold mark. As a comparison, Marathon's just over 7,100. So half of their lead is on the Draven alone. That is a very, very big Draven. And the top laners keep smacking each other, but this could be a dive. There's 3 people. Incisors coming, the axes are spinning. Stronger gets the CC. Easy kill for the Draven. He's dominating. They might be looking to pick up this turret now as well. Powerful is summoning the Rift Herald. Lyra is where he should not be. Maybe he can make an escape happen, but honestly, he's just in the middle of too many enemies. There was nothing to do in that western quadrant of the map. Still living somehow. Powerfood channeling that Nature's Grasp maybe in the wrong angle. And so it's just a tower that falls. It's a bot lane tower that falls for FF, but the Baron's the target now.
We talked about in the beginning, Joe, how much this game is going to be centered around the bot side. And you can see it here. 13 kills and assists on Maokai and 13 kills and assists on the Draven. They are making sure this guy can get every advantage he can. Played around so much, he hasn't died because he's always got those players around him. And look, they base now, currently at an 8,000 gold lead. They are just going from strength to strength. Baron up in 5 minutes. Oh no, Baron is taken. Sorry, from the side. I don't know what's going on anymore. Baron taken as well is going to allow this team with maybe a little bit of a range disadvantage to be able to siege so much better. 1 tier 2 up, 2 tier 2s up, and they're going to be wanting them.
Yeah, and like, what's really striking here to me is while Gracelight are going to be starting their Baron power play, not sponsored by Red Bull, is they're just faster around the map. They just know where they want to be for the plays that they want to make, and they just seem always a step ahead of 50-50, who seem to be reacting a lot more to what's happening. Now Exodia might be caught by Goth baddies. The Malphite might not be able to hurt the Sejuani as much, but Exodia is not quite as tanky, and here comes the Draven from behind! Hello and goodbye, Incisors, godlike! And now with 5 members strong, all on Baron buff, they could already be looking to crack the base.
Yeah, don't worry guys, other Baron sponsors are available, so... but yeah, these tier 2s falling now. Gothbaddy still, he held on to that unstoppable force. I don't know, they probably will know that, but yeah, any explosive engage here, and it could be over for 50-50. Hook lands!
But lands onto the Malphite. He might be tanky, but he's not that tanky. Amateur has to flash away. Draven ultimate already thrown, but Godbuddies is down. Here comes the Rel engage. Draven's axes are flying and dismantling the health bars of 50-50. You do get a kill in return onto Stronger as well, but it just does not matter. This Draven is so goddamn strong. Now he's taking the turn, and he still doesn't care. Now here's the shutdown after a triple kill. Exodia gets the gold that he's been craving the entire game. I don't think it will be in time, but at least they will hold on to their base for now with Power Fruit and Shadowhopper all alone pushing, but they do get the turret.
Yeah, the one saving grace is that the perfect game from Draven is over. Can't use that one to celebrate in the chat, in the VL chat. But yeah, it's still a very dominant performance. He was feeling himself. That's the second flash hook Laya has missed. He's really not had a great game here. He's been picked a lot. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, the deaths are completely spread all throughout the 50-50, just showing how much this squad has been hurting in this game. Yeah, we're sitting at a 10k gold lead now. It's dragging up in 17, but they could just walk down the rift now, and I know who my money would be on.
Yeah, 10,000 gold at 24 minutes is nothing to sneeze at here as the dragon's about to spawn. I mean, they just might pick it up as a drive-by because the Baron buff is mostly gone. It may even be gone on everybody. So they just pick up the dragon just because they can, but they will keep looking for picks. Look at this, the charm already flying, fishing for that all-important pick. If they get the 5v4 on the map once again, I think that time the game would be over. This Draven's on 4.5 items. The Varus has just barely completed the second one, has to flash away from Shadowhopper here. And while the Mastery might be spammed, only Ariel has been expended here. And here comes the Malphite, lands the ultimate onto Maritime. Draven's ultimate gets the kill. Brill magnets everybody together, and now it's 3 kills and the turret, and the rest of 50-50 wasn't even there. Why are you defending an inner turret when 2 of you are in the fountain against the Baron buff team that's 10,000 gold ahead? Samurai, I think this game is over.
Yeah, I mean, Marathon, you know, he's come in as a sub, but he cannot play this game on Varus. The CC and the lockdown, that would have definitely been made in calls. First tower down, Exodia's trying to do it, but one tower down, and they're still all very healthy. I think this is curtains here in game 1 for 50-50.
Yeah, Powerfruit will give his life so that they can kill this turret and Exodia as well. One more falls. Slayer will not be able to find another hook though, as the Draven's axes are still flying. Double kill. Flashes away from the Wizard. This could be a little bit threatening as the rest of his team concentrates on the Nexus. They will sacrifice their Draven. Can they get the Nexus down? The minions have spawned. Can they live? No! Nexus falls. 1-0 to Team Gracelight. The classic ADC for Nexus trade. And that was an absolutely dominating performance. It was just a team diff, Samurai.
Yeah, it very much was. Also, I think the comp as well. Marathon could not play into that stronger Malphite combo. You know, you might be asking why Powerfruit took that dragon. I think he might have remembered halfway through that he had his Eternals to do, his challenges to do, had to buff the stats. Yeah, it was just completely dominant. 50-50 really showed good on the early game. You could tell they were like, let's just not lose these leads early, especially against Incisor Dronga. Got that first dragon, which was really good, but yeah, in the end, this is why Gracelight Ruby are the second best team, why this is the team most likely to be able to challenge Quantify Force, and they prove it here, Joe, in game 1.
Yeah, absolute clobbering that they delivered in this first game. Incisor on the Draven in a 25-50 game dealt 33,340 damage to champions. And I think with that, everything about this game is said.
Do you think they want to win? I think they want to win, you know? Yeah, that is pretty nuts. Wow, we are getting quite a bit of information on, but we will go to a quick break just so we can sort out scores on the doors and we can get into that second lobby. But when we come back, it's game 2 of Gracelight Ruby versus 50-50. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back, guys. We are just waiting on the invites so we can get into that game too. I was currently not in there. We will quickly do scores on the doors as it was a very quick game, but a lot of information has come out. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 2-0 for Ablaze. I'm fairly sure that is an FF, given the fact that Gracelight versus 50-50 game was incredibly quick. So that is what we're getting on the website. So we will have to see if that is true, but I'm fairly sure it is. That 1-0 for 50-50 already for Gracelight we already know about. No information yet on the Mayhem versus Quantify Nova game. That is fair enough. It was a quick game, and of course, as is correctly put now, it's a 2-0 for Outlaw. We already know that because Limelight Avalon have surrendered from the tournament. Their win already calculated, so that win that you saw on the table they already have in their points system, which they are going to be watching this stream. They are going to be watching these games intensely. Joe, I don't know if you're there, but they are going to need that game against Quantify Nova against Frostbite Mayhem to go exactly their way. A 2-0 for Frostbite Mayhem if they want any chance of getting through to playoffs.
Yeah, I am back.
Hey!
I wasn't here for a second, but I'm happy you kept the air and the flow going. We are currently waiting for the teams. I'm hoping we're in the correct lobby.
I think we're in the correct lobby. Am I not in the correct?
We could double check with production maybe if someone wants to give us confirmation on the codes that were posted earlier.
Yeah, production, oh wait, shit, I'm production. No, just some of the staff in the background who have these game codes and really do a lot to keep the stream going. It's incredible to have them here. I'm just going to lead the lobby and then try and do the code again. But also, I know there are people in the chat who are in the games. If we're not, could you guys maybe invite us or get it Penumbral Samurai on the league thing? I'm joined. Yeah, oh no, I'm in a different lobby, but you're not in it. It's messed up, guys.
I'll be there. We got the wrong codes earlier. We got the correct codes now. We just need to use our brains, which are currently cooked from the absolutely unrelenting heat. But,
tell me about it.
We will be happy to bring you the second game with as much enthusiasm as we did the first one.
Oh, and we do have a little bit of information here. It is so it did not turn up on the website, but in the game of Nova versus Mayhem, it is Nova. It was Nova who have taken the first game. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Nova have taken the first game in a flawless fashion as well. Master Yi on Lord Beirut going 12-0-6.
What the hell is going on there? Almost a perfect game. Opposition just taking 3 turrets and a single Rift Herald, and that is it. 22-0 kills. Yeah,
it's a perfect game from Nova. They really want to win this series. And because they have secured that one game, that does mean that Outlaw Cowboys have been knocked out. We have our 3 teams that have been knocked out, and they are, let's see if I remember this, Limelight Avalon, Ablaze Academy, and Outlaw Cowboys. So Mystics, Mayhem, and Nova both through. Congratulations to both of them. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this game. Gracelight putting on a strong performance, Joe, in that game 1.
Yeah, as we said it earlier, an absolute destruction. This Draven of Incisor, calling it online would be 20 years behind the times. That was an absolutely massive Draven, over 30,000 damage in a game that wasn't even 26 minutes long. We had Shadowhopper on this massive Ahri, landing charms left, right, and center. And Malphite was also there.
Malphite was also there. That would be my analysis as well. He did well in the fights as well, making sure to lock up Matalan. Marathon, just so you can get that CC. Following through with the Rel, it was a very easy comp to play from Gracelight. You had 3 engagey pick tanks, and you had 2 champions, the Ari as well, with that Spirit Rush being able to follow up on whatever distance you're engaging from, and it worked super well. They played it quite tight, 50-50, tried to do something a bit interesting with the draft. The Kassadin was a super interesting pick, could have gone online, but just a bit too many mistakes in that early game. And yeah, we're gonna get going into game 2, folks. Do we have our Gracelight Ruby fans in chat, or do we have some 50-50 enjoyers who want to see a game 3 and want to see the reverse upset? Let us know. But yeah, Joe, that was a rough one. Maybe Gracelight Ruby, I don't know, they've got tea or something. You know, they're certainly playing like it. So
look, I am a big non-2-0 enjoyer, so for this game I'm going to be halfway towards a 50-50 fan, just because I like having third games. I think the stories that build throughout a series is one of the most fun things you can have, especially in a league like this. So I'm really looking forward to see how 50-50 could be able to bounce back here, despite missing 3 bans. You have to remember their ADC is an emergency substitute, and now with them being on the red side, there is definitely one pick that they cannot prevent for the side of Gracelight Ruby. We'll have to see what the first pick is going to be. So far, Gracelight are not changing their bans up. The On was already banned in the first game. If I remember correctly, the next one should be the Wukong. There it is. I forgot the third one. Do you know?
Nope. Back to you. No, just to ask Mr. Diabetic, thank you for the information. But yes, Nova 1-0ing Mayhem right now. But yeah, the Ornn, it's also the same sides as well, if I remember correctly. No, it's not. No, they've switched sides.
50-50 is on red side this game. Apologies for the layout not quite showing that.
Yeah, but
50-50 on red side. Gracelight will be on blue side for this game. So not only are they the only ones with bans in this first round of draft, they also will have first pick. Misfortune is their last ban, and we're gonna have to wait 25 seconds until 50-50's timer runs out, because remember, no bans in the first phase. When you use an emergency substitute for every game, you do use that player. But we're about to find out if any changes are on the horizon for the teams when it comes to draft, and especially for 50-50, I think changes will be needed. I was not a fan of the Olaf Kassadin duo.
Yeah, stream website fixed now, so that should all be good. And is that Crolux's? I don't think that's Power Fruits, Nunu. We'll see how that goes. But the Maokai lock-in, once again, probably going towards Power Fruit, but again, can be a triple flex, showing they really liked it in the first game, and they're going to play it again in this one.
Yeah, it was really successful in the first game as well, getting those first 3 kills. And then having so much CC in the oncoming fights, but even with that CC and being mostly a heal tank, still being a threat to the backline carries with that AP on the Maokai. Sejuani is again the first pick for the side of 50-50, but they do change it up. They steal away the Rel for themselves this game.
Yeah, can be very good. Also into things, if maybe predicting things like a Nautilus or a Thresh. I don't know actually how the Thresh-Rel matchup goes on, but I know it can be pretty good into a Nautilus, so Rel usually pretty good there. Maybe they're just wanting to disguise their ADC pick, maybe wanting to use that R3 from 50-50 to switch it up a little. They didn't think that blue side was going great for them, but Malphite insta-locked, you know, straight away. They really liked that in first game as well, so they'll pick that up. And yeah, running straight back to game 1 here for Gracelight Ruby here, Joe.
Yeah, I am a Malphite enjoyer myself. It's my most played champion this year in solo queue, and for a reason. He's just so straightforward. You see enemy, you press R on enemy, and speaking of pressing buttons on the enemy, for Draven you just need to right click, and Incisor really was an absolute menace in that first game on the champion, of course. Then he had the Rel as a support, so it's going to be interesting to see what they put Stronger on to pair with that Smiling Executioner in the bot lane.
It's the same comp. It's the same. What am I supposed to do as a color caster? They picked what they want in the first game. Done. Well, you're gonna have to cook up something different. And the Silas with that Maokai and Malphite ultimate that he can steal already is definitely cooking. And a very highly melee team working well with Sejuani. I like this switch up here.
Yeah, it already would have been probably a much stronger champion than a Kassadin in game one with all the ultimates on the other side, but now they're gonna try their hand at this. Silas is of course not the easiest champion to play, managing when to steal which ultimate, but especially with Malphite and Maokai, as you said, on the enemy team, Silas can absolutely be the defining factor of a game. Now we're going to see some bans again. Ahri banned, so no Shadowhopper Ahri this game. On the other side, Ashe is getting forbidden. Interesting ban there on that Talia. Have you seen Shadowhopper play that?
Yes, I have. It can be something that he plays. It can be quite nice into the Silas as well. I mean, very nice into the entire team. Rel, Sejuani, just, can stun any of those champions if they dash through. Maybe a Poppy is something that the team of Gracelight could look at here against 50/50's comp with all of those dashes. The Olaf banned away. Yeah, the Ashe, I'm not sure if Ashe Rel is that powerful of a combo. If they're gonna go back to this, I would respect it mentally if Maritam wants to run this again. But remember, it got abused in game one with how much CC they have. They still have for this Malphite, so Varus locked in. He's gonna have to position a bit better this time.
Yeah, the problem is, as long as Malphite has a flash, you cannot position yourself in a way that he can't get to you and still deal damage. It's going to be a real tough thing to manage, playing an ADC without any dashes against something like a Malphite. And Maokai. Maokai, of course, with that point-and-click CC on the W, the Twisted Advance. And this time the Draven is going to be paired with the Thresh. That, of course, could help massively against engages from Rel and Sejuani, having that Flay, having that Lantern, just to keep this Draven safe and sound so you can keep throwing these axes into the enemy heads. Now let's see what the last pick is going to be. We're looking at a mid laner for Shadowhopper, and with the Ahri banned away, he opts for the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, it could be really nice into that Silas. I don't know how that matchup goes, but I'm assuming it goes well for Cassio. Can get a lot of consistent damage. You're already looking at 2 tanks, so something that can deal that consistent tick damage. Cassiopeia is a lovely find here. You're going to have to find something to go up against this top side into this Malphite. The Camille picked, not going for another tank-on-tank action, trying to maybe get some true damage slices on that Malphite, but with how strong Malphite is at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if that might even be Malphite flavored. But then again, I don't pay attention to top lane.
I was already googling the Cassandra copy pasta, but they do opt for the side lane control with Camille. They do want that split push, which is interesting when you look at the team composition that has Sejuani and Rel just wants to engage and team fight, but Camille obviously can be used in team fights as well. But with that Camille pick, the Cassiopeia becomes even more valuable. Just that miasma alone to prevent dashes. It can be so absolutely devastating for a team comp like this, especially if you have the Malphite and the Maokai. You see that twisted, that Maokai ultimate come towards you, and then you sit on the miasma. You can't even flash away, and then comes Malphite with the unstoppable force. You can't flash away. You can't dash away. You will get hit if you are on the miasma in any way, shape, or form. I really like the composition. Once again, that. The side of Gracelight will be half drafted for themselves, and the onus is going to be on 50/50 to out-execute them on a comp that is really difficult to play, I'd say, with that Silas, with that Camille, very low range except for the Varus, and these engages need to be absolutely pixel perfect because they need to get to the backline with Silas and Camille to do anything in this game.
It's not even I'm thinking of how good this Cassiopeia pick is, because it's also pretty good at answering sideways. You could argue, like, maybe this Camille pick is trying to say, hey, Gracelight Ruby are really good as a 5-stack. Let's break that apart. And maybe that could be one of the weaknesses of this Draven comp, that he really needs those people in front of him. And if we can pull that apart, get some interesting flanks, we can find a way into this Gracelight Ruby draft. But even Cassiopeia can be really nice in a side lane, especially when you get to those later levels, when that movement speed from her passive kicks in, and she just has that tick, single target damage that Cassiopeia is known for. It's a beautiful find, and yet, I mean, even if you get to that stage, Malphite right now, and for so long, has been so dominant in the top lane against all AD champions. Camille can be very nice into tanks, can be like Fiora that way, but Malphite is so easy to play. FF the Wizard has put everything on his back here. He doesn't want a tank. He wants something that can deal that damage, and credit to him. Yeah. Let's see if it works, Joe.
Yeah, I always encourage this proactivity, especially if you get destroyed like this in game 1. Change something up, change your playstyle, find something that could work against what the enemy team is doing, and what Gracelight Ruby is doing and has been doing in game 1 is we want a team fight with a fat damn front line, with a Draven in the back, and with an AP carry as well. So how about we try to not team fight and split push? But they do need to be disciplined with this. If they want this Camille to split push, they need to let her split push. Because in team fights, it's going to be, as I said, they need pixel perfect engages and fights to win a team fight against a comp like this, unless they have a quite big of a lead already. And it's going to be even more difficult to team fight against this comp, because with the Thresh, Lantern, Cassio or Draven can get a free reposition, even if they do get caught out of position in one fight. Yeah, so Gracelight Ruby will be the favorites, in my opinion, in this game on the blue side. But maybe 50-50 have something up their sleeve with this Camilla, with this Silas. These are champions that, if you know them very well, you can really pull out some surprising plays.
Yeah, surprise! It turns out the Varus was actually Nico this whole time. I don't know. That'd be super cool if in the champ select, like, you could like disguise yourself as another champion and like, surprise, it's Nico. That could be. I mean, that would be horrible. You'd have to be like a one patch kind of thing, but I don't know. It could be interesting to kind of shake things up. But anyway, wow, my god, we're all running fast computers right now. Except mine. I know we are having a little bit of stuttering on my side. Apologies for that, folks. I am trying my best. But, yep. We will go to 10 seconds.
I would be ready as soon as you are.
Oh, wait, yep, 1 second. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, 11 seconds on the clock. The lights are on in Summoner's Rift. This is game 2 of the 3rd division of Valorant League's last week game between, on the blue side, Gracelight, Ruby, who are 1-0 up in this match, against 50-50 on the red side. And they are clumping up. They want that level 1 of Rel to be of some use. They seem to be expecting an invade themselves, but Gracelight has just fanned out the 5-point start. They are not giving them that easy of a start. With that very cute Power Rider Sejuani skin on Glow on. Sejuani no longer in the top lane now. They are running 5 flashes this game.
Silas.
So at least they will have the ability to.
Can someone check on Silas? I think he needs to go to the hospital. He was not having a fun time in that pro. But just sort of big picture for a second. It has been. This is my first split casting, sort of in full, for Valorant League, and I think I've been casting since I think it was week 2 or week 1. And I have enjoyed this so much. It's been great for the series as well. We had no Div 4 this time, but having both Div 4 teams, that was Frostbite, Nova, oh my god, Frostbite, Nova, I've done it again. Frostbite, Mayhem, and Quantify Nova beat 3 Div 3 teams is lovely to see. It'll be great to see them in playoffs, scrap it out. And yeah, it's been an awesome series, an awesome group stage to watch. And I know that the playoffs, Joe, will provide even more entertainment and bangers.
Yeah, people really do tend to find their stride in playoffs or absolutely implode. That is also a possibility. But yeah, it's been real fun watching you and having you on board here. I think you've been a great asset and will hopefully continue to be so as we are seeing these first trades happening in the lanes. There's the level 2-4 Liar and just completely misses the engage. So there's absolutely no damage to be found on Incisor, who is positioning well on this Draven. As we know, the Spectator client likes top lane, so that's where the camera goes.
Yeah, but look at this jungle pathing here. It's been quite shaken up here. Maokai has done a reverse clear bit in the top, bit jungle, mid lane burst.
Great flash from Glowon, hitting that onto Shadow Hopper, but with the flash of the Cassio to escape, there will not be first blood quite yet. Speaking of which, Liar is being caught out. The Maokai was in the right place in the right time, and Draven already cashes in on the first blood. And that's really not what you want if you're a fan of 50-50 in this game.
That was brilliant from Powerfruit. Goes to his red, but then does the reverse clear, going Raptors and then Krugs. Therefore, when Sejuani invades, sees the Raptors are gone. Oh, Maokai's topside, the Raptors are gone. But Maokai comes back and then gets that early gank onto Incisor and Stronger, getting the lane that he needs to get ahead already. He does get his blue buff stolen, but that was an incredible just change up in pathing from this jungler, who is making sure to do everything to get his team ahead. 1k gold lead at 3.5 minutes. What am I watching, Joe?
Yeah, that could not be fun for a 50-50, but now Powerfruit might be caught here. There's a lot of red faces around. That sapling isn't going to do much. That's a great stun from the Wizard with the flash and picks that kill up for himself. He wanted that Camille to fight the game himself, but Exolia now flashes forward after that Miasma Shadow Hopper. You have no mana! You die! What's happening here? Overcommitment galore from the side of Gracelight on the top side, and they lose that life. And Shadow Hopper will kick himself for this one, because that was not the best choice there without mana.
Oh, the caster curse strikes again. You praise Powerfruit,
no.
and he decides to go in Incisor.
Oh no, Incisor forces the flash from Maritime. He keeps going under the turret, gets the kill, flashes away, does not die to tower. Here comes Lyra to at least salvage something here, flashes forward. But the exhaust is there. Incisor, can he save himself? Nice on him as well. Will be shut down, but that's not where you want the shutdown gold. It's great that they get the kill, but you don't want that gold on the Rel, a champion that doesn't really do all too much with gold and items, except get somewhat more tanky. But a lot of back and forth in this early game. I like it.
Rel has more gold than ADC.
Oh no.
That's not great. He does get revenge for Marathon and I shut down, but yeah, that is not where you want. This minion wave, I think Off Baddies is too pushed up here.
There's no mana though on the Wizard. He might get a good Q in, but only if Glowon can find the CC can they get this. Off Baddies has no mana himself, so will be forced to flash away, but now the Wizards, despite the red buff, could still fall. They are trying to find everything, but Powerfruit is going to die. The Wizard is going to survive. Red buff be thanked, and they turn it around in the top lane.
Yeah, and that is why you pair melee champions with Sejuani's. They get the buff, you stack the E passive so much quicker, and that is great from 50-50. You know, being able to turn that round in your head saying, hey, we had a bad game one, but we had a good early game. Let's focus on that. Credit to Glowon. It's like the reverse this game because he is dominating Powerfruit and he is looking to get the gold on his back now, trying to carry his lanes.
Yeah, he used the information he got on level 3 perfectly. When that Maokai gank happened in the bot lane, he immediately went for the blue buff, stole that away. Then they got that kill onto Maokai in the jungle, so Maokai was slowed down even more. And is now currently mostly a non-factor, while Glowon already has the Bami Cinder in his inventory. The only big problem here is that this Draven is already very snowballed. And they can't really leave Marathon alone with him anymore, at all.
Yes, a rated Dirk and Sheen combo is disgusting. I don't know what to say about that, because that is just going to deal so much damage. You do your any auto attack, any ability followed up, or it's just damage. What do I say? It's just damage. Back to you, Joe.
What's surprising me a little bit is that Gothbaddies continually seems to have the push in the top lane, despite the Wizard already having a kill and an assist, already having a Sheen and 2 longswords. But Gothbaddies just uses his abilities quite well to keep having the push. And that means the Wizard has a long lane to play with to find these kills, but only if he can get them. He's behind the Malphite right now, while Shadowhopper was forced to be real careful there. But look, with the wave in this position, the Wizard can't really engage. Now Powerfoot caught again in the top side jungle. Glowon wants to find that stun. There it is. Here comes Exodia. Misses the chain, so Powerfoot could actually live here. Double stun from Shadowhopper to save his jungler's life. Crucial, but the hook lands onto the AD carry and Maritan will fall. He's already ticking down from the Ignite. They want to give the kill to Draven though, and this is where he shines. Incisor with a 3rd kill of the game, and the gold's even again. That was not what 50-50 need here. This Draven is so goddamn ahead. He's almost got double Maritan's gold.
Yeah, that's a bit nuts, and although to be credit to Maritan, he does now have more gold than his support, so he is doing a little bit more well in that regard. But yeah, it's a loss, and Lyre going in.
Flash in from Lyre. That's a great CC chain there from him and Exodia. The Ignite went on as well, and they got that kill onto Shadowhopper in the mid lane. Everywhere but bot lane, things are going great for 50-50. Maybe we could call this map state a 50-50 currently, if we're being cheeky here, as the top laners are trading some hits.
Oh, touche. But yeah, that was a really creative gank by Lyre there. Glowon has been moving into this Raptor pit so many times, trying to get those invades, get a little bit more information on Power Fruit, what he's doing, and then that allows Lyre, with 0 vision for the side of Gracelight, to be able to capitalize on that. But Power Fruit, he's died twice and he's out of position.
He's got the smite, he got the blue buff, but now Shadowhopper needs to bail him out with that flash used as well on Power Fruit. The Miasma and the ultimate though, no, just the Miasma was good enough to save that tree's life. And now with 3 stacked on the top side, that means Incisor and Stronger can be sure there's no ganks happening. So they just farm, harness their lead. Power Fruit did get the blue buff because Glowon's smite was just on cooldown still. But that was a scary moment. Meanwhile, Rift Herald has been picked up by Glowon. Interested to see where they're going to use it. Do they keep trying to snowball Exodia, or do they try to get some gold into Maritan's pockets, or do they free up the Wizard in the top lane for the split push? Where would you put it?
Well, as of right now, it's oh, sorry, I completely forgot about the Rift Herald. I was looking at the dragon. Yeah, this Rift Herald, I'd probably put it. I'd actually like to see it on the Silas. I think he can really carry this game if he's given the right sorts of tools. But just to sort of come back, this is what happens when you put a support on a jungle role. Like, he is constantly in Power Fruit. He's trying to get that deep vision. He's trying to get as much as for his team as possible. He was invading in that top side and just not giving Power Fruit a moment to breathe. And yet, that is exactly what happens when you have a support. You know, they are used to harassing the jungler, getting that vision, just not really spending too much time farming and spending all of it just getting in your face of your opponents. He was objective focused as well, getting that objective so that 50-50 can translate some of these leads into those objectives. Credit to Glowon, his first game in the jungle on this team, and he's performing in the second game.
Yeah, only thing that you could technically criticize is through all that invading, Powerfoot did still get the camp smites done, but now he's getting engaged on TP immediately behind him. Powerfoot is in big trouble, but the Lantern bails him out. The Wizard TP'd in. Exodia came as well, but just one single click of the Lantern made sure Powerfoot was not going to die. That is the power of Thresh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was a bit too eager from Shadowhopper. I completely understand it. You haven't used TP in a while, and you're just like, no, well, let's do it. But yeah, a bit overreactive there. Lyre may be looking for the same play on Shadowhopper. But yeah, it's yeah, in the end, even though it was a misplay from the side of 50, they don't end up losing too much with the other TP that's lost on Shadow Hopper. And yeah, it was a good try of a play. I really love this aggressive and proactive style from 50-50, given what we saw last game, Joe.
Yeah, the only disadvantage they accrued through that is that Goth Baddies did get 1 or 2 plates in the top lane there, and here comes another stand aside inside. His Axes are doing so much damage onto Marathon, who has to pop the Ghost to run away to make sure Draven doesn't get another chunk of cash in his pockets. Powerfruit, meanwhile, is looking for an engage onto Exodia. But Exodia wants to turn it around. Shadowhopper's behind him. That's in the middle of 4 people. Unstoppable force. Silas is already dead. Shadowhopper gets the kill. Now uses the ultimate. Gets a double stun. Liar will not get out of this. Draven ultimate picks up the kill. Liar falls. Incisor gets his 4th kill of the game. Herald summoned in the top lane. But that was turned around beautifully by the side of Gracelight. Now they're pushing in the mid lane while top lane got the Herald summon. The Wizard will not quite get the tower yet, but that's a 1-plate top lane turret. Despite the death of Exodia, 50-50 are still in the game, but that's a hook landing onto Glow-On. Look at the damage Shadowhop is already dealing. And let's not forget, just mainly because of this Draven, they have an 1800 gold lead at 13 minutes. That might not look like much if you look at the top side of the map, but it's an absolutely massive lead that could translate to the rest of the map really easy if this Draven comes around and starts fights.
Yeah, Exodia is like, oh guys, I've got him, follow up. And then he looks behind, oh no, I don't have a team, let's get out. It was instant. He got the hook, and then he was like, oh no, I've messed up, and he tries to get out. Brings Liar with him to that death screen, and you were doing well. You know, you do not want to be giving Gracelight Ruby any sort of advantages. This was the same thing that happened to them in game 1. Where they did have a bit of a lead, but they just threw it away, some careless mistakes, and Gracelight Ruby capitalizing. It is, you know, it's nice for the Cassiopeia, but all this chaos is just allowing Draven to abuse this bot lane even more. 14 minutes, plates will go down, and Draven sitting at 2.8 thousand gold leads. That's pretty good.
Yeah, look at these axes. Gets stunned up by Liar and doesn't care the slightest. The good news for Team 50-50 is the Wizard does have that Divine Sundra now, but just look at this. Draven uses the ultimate, almost gets the kill, but Marathon meanwhile gets hit by the hook. Liar is so low, tries to get the Magnet Storm in. Draven, will he die? He gets the shield glow on. Cannot quite get to him. The Lantern saves him at the last possible moment. And that could have gone disastrous for the side of Gracelight, but here comes the rest of the fight. They go on to Shadowhopper, but that's just biting off more than you can chew. The ultimate from Silas, the stolen Cassiopeia ultimate gets a triple stun. Why is Marathon so far forward? He knew there's a fight at the Pixel Brush, just sacrifices his life. He wanted to get the kill on the Draven, but that was just too greedy with how the rest of the fight went, and they're just throwing away their chances at coming back into this game, and now they're 3,000 gold behind in 15 minutes. Dragon's about to spawn, at all seems in control for Gracelight again, and they got so close to killing the Draven.
Yeah, Marathon just seeing red, really wanting Incisor to go low. He must be sick of this Draven in lane and just wanting to kill him, but then his vision clears and sees 3 members of Gracelight collapsing on him and goes, oh no. So yeah, tunnel vision, something maybe to work on. But yeah, it was great from, you know, take a bow, Incisor stronger. If you guys like being on VLDR, well, you're certainly proving it today because they have played so well together. This is the duo that could maybe clinch, you know, against Quantify Force. I forget their bot lane, but it is one of the most powerful bot lanes, maybe even the best one we have in Div 3. And yeah, they are proving it right now. I believe it was Incisor who actually got a pentakill in the Quantify League. He also got one here as well on Samira. So yeah, he is a bit of a carry, you know.
Slightly. He's got 2 items now completed, while Marathon is sitting on 1 and a dagger, not even tier 2 boots yet. That is how big Draven's lead is here. And as Draven himself would say, this is where Draven shines. The Axis grinding in the mid lane. They want that turret to free up the map. They've not got a single turret yet. So there are some saving graces for the side of 50-50, but a 3,000 gold lead at 16 minutes is not that small in the grand scheme of things, especially when most of it is sitting on that Draven, who by himself is 3,200 gold ahead of that Varus. The difference in ADC damage is just going to be absolutely disgusting. If they can't kill the Draven early on in the fight, they're not going to win the fight. It's interesting to see where the next skirmish is going to break out, if we have to wait for the next dragon, or if someone has an idea to find some sort of flank to get a skirmish going, to find an angle.
And remember, it is Varus who is supposed to be the counter into Draven. You know, maybe forgetting putting this with an engage support and something with like a Karma really shows how much he can be abused, but Goth Baddies, he does have the unstoppable force.
He uses that to get away. Now that means Glowon and the Wizard don't really have a chance to do anything here. Goth Baddies, he's not playing in a flashy fashion, but he's just doing what he needs to do, right? Just play safe in the top lane, be the CC and engage for fights. Meanwhile, Incisor looking for that solo kill onto Meriton, almost gets it. Lyra with the Magnet Storm. That's a good amount of CC and an Ignite onto this Draven, but he's just too powerful. That's the snipe from downtown. Lyra gets the shutdown with the Ignite, but the Varus Q was absolutely vital for that. Meanwhile, Herald was summoned in the top lane and got that first turret. Meanwhile, red turret falls in the bot lane, so one on each side. Now Goth Baddies gets attacked here by two people, and now trying to defend this turret might prove lethal. Here comes the ultimate from Camille. Not getting out of there. The Wizard picks up the kill. Glowon even lives despite tanking about 50,000 turret shots, and they're going to get this second turret for themselves in the top lane as well. Now that might be the beginning of a throw.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with Draven down, that was the big one as well. But so much gold on this Camille. Now 2 and 0 and 1 with this Divine Sunderer means this split push threat from Exodia and Wizard could now come online. Marathon is still very weak, but if you can just hold back, not take any fights, but just hold them back, you can use this pressure you've got on these side lanes to draw this Draven back and forth. He may be strong, but he can't be everyone on the wrap. FF Wizard wanting it, but Stronger flashes out.
Yeah, looks for him there, gets the stun, but Stronger has the flash available. Crucially not running the Hex Flash on this Thresh this game, so will be fairly immobile for the next 5 minutes, but this Draven has his flash almost back up, and that's probably going to be the moment where they choose to go for the next fight. Dragons in under 1 minute, in 52 seconds to be precise. It's going to be a Hextech Dragon, so that's the soul we're looking at as well. You already see these Hex Gates on your mini-map. So far not being used quite as much, but Goth Baddies looking for an engage onto Exodia, because he knows Incisor's coming. But so far, not quite as explosive yet as 30 seconds until the Dragon. That's where we probably see these teams duke it out again. The 3,000 gold lead has shrunk to about 500, and that's where we see both teams probably thinking of themselves as the stronger one right now, and that's where the most explosive fights happen in. Wizard does have the teleport, is in the side lane, and is already looking at an open inhibitor turret. So the decisiveness needs to be there. Yeah, but here's the side of Gracelight.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't even think you need to TP here as Wizard. You've lost so many fights as 50-50 trying to play this 5v5, and Gracelight every time they're just able to outplay you. But look, they draw the Cassiopeia in. Look, they've got someone to answer here now, and now 50-50 FF the Wizard can look for something. You know, if it's Cassiopeia answering, she can't go for a flank TP. She's got to play it pretty safe, where the Goth Baddies can. So Cassiopeia, and remember this pick we talked about, very good at answering split pushes, but it's not the same as having a Malphite there, so it is allowing 50-50 to take this Drake.
Yeah, it's not looking like a contest here. Hextech Dragon has been picked up. Exodia on half HP. Draven just using the Whirling Death to scout this one out, but the Dragon was already gone. No ability to steal that. And so the teams go right back to looking at each other menacingly in the mid lane, clearing some waves. It could actually mean they will get this tower, because there was recalls after the Dragon, a bit greedy here, and that means the tower falls to Gracelight. And they're building a lead again, but here comes the engage on the Power Fruit. He's not tanky. He's an AP Maokai, and he will just die the hookland. Magnet Storm under 4 people. There comes Sejuani. Can they manage to get onto this Draven? He's so far away in the Batline hooklands. Godbat, he's almost hit. Incisor almost hit. The chase keeps going. It's a 5v4. Liar trying to fight some formal CC. Stronger will fall despite the blade backwards. And 50-50 are here to fight this game as they turn their attention towards Baron Nashor.
Wow, what an engage there. Power Fruit just being caught out again. Almost half the team's dead on this jungler. And yeah, with that, the team are just caught too far extended. The miasma was really good from Shadowhopper, but with Incisor taken so low already, he can't follow up. He has to play very safe. It allows 50-50 to keep pushing the fight, get the Baron, and now they're in control with a 1k gold lead.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead they've had all series long, 22 minutes into the second game. And now they are looking to be firmly in control. They keep finding these angles with the Camille over the walls. This pick proves to be absolutely pivotal in the change of direction for this team. Now they just have to keep doing what they have been doing. Make the wizard split push, make him find the angles for the flanks, and he still has that TP available, and so he can still split push without a care in the world. Exodia on the other side lane, they do seem to know how to play a split push comp.
Yeah, they're playing it pretty well as well. I mean, FF the Wizard is just getting so many advantages. Silas as well on that bot side. He might straight up get the Drake, but note he is going to take his recall. There's no vision down there, so he is a little bit wary of that. I don't know if he got that gold or not, but yeah, just pulling them apart. You know, if Cassiopeia and Maokai are there, they don't have as much damage. They don't have that AP damage there in the mid lane, and it allows for that pressure to be taken off of Varus, this weak point in the team, be able to farm it up a bit more safely. And yeah, I'm loving this from 50-50, gaining some advantages. No objectives up in 2 minutes. This is where, you know, you don't need to push anything as you're 50-50. Just try and get those waves pushed in those side lanes. You don't have to throw the game on some engage, so just keep your heads and you're gonna start winning this.
Yeah, a big part of split push compositions is patience, and again patience, and so far they've proven they have that. Even when they were about 3,000 gold behind, they had the patience to find the perfect engage, the engage that they needed to bring this game back to even. And now that they're in a lead, if they keep that up, they can be looking at a game 3. They can be looking at a 3rd place finish, a 4th place finish rather, in this group, and proving themselves to be a threat in playoffs if they beat the team that has gone undefeated since their last loss.
Yeah, and I really love this. One thing that is keeping this map together for Gracelight right now is this tier 1 mid lane tower, because they're able to play so far up, you can't get those rotates in. And even though, you know, Camille pushed in that top side, he didn't go for that, made sure, knew which objective was important. FF the Wizard, not going to be gone on by Stronger there, but that is the power of split push. Even if you don't run down the towers there, you can use that pressure and transfer it to another place where you know Elena isn't, because they've had to be committed to answer your split push. So really playing this well from 50-50, just getting those small advantages around the map. And now they've got a setup for this dragon, because Gracelight are here. How are they going to respond?
Yeah, one thing to look at though is Draven is still by far the richest champion on the Rift. They still have to, when they do fight, find the Draven.
Yeah, although I will say, push mid. Get mid control right now. They are late to this, so invest all your champions in mid lane, and then you can know they go in.
This could have been perfect. Exodia had the Malphite ultimate, but he died on the miasma before he could use the Dravenstone on the flank. The Wizard's trying to run away on the wrong side of the fight. Incisor versus the Wizard, but the exhaust decides it. They don't get the kill to Draven, and the Wizard doesn't even die. They win the fight. They destroy everybody. It looked doomed, but they turn it around. They even get the kill to the Malphite only. Shadowhopper lives. and the fight that looked almost over, they just completely turn it around. The Wizard, with that Ravenous Hydra heal, stays alive, gets the kill onto the Draven, and from then on, it's smooth sailing for the side of 50-50. They pick up their third Drake, go into Soul Point, 3,000 gold lead. It's looking up.
Yeah, really good there from 50-50. Credit to Marathon, actually. Even when he's getting gone on by the team of Gracelight, he has the awareness to throw that Q towards the Draven, knowing that they need enough damage on that backside to be able to shut down that Draven, and then the damage isn't there. Shadowhopper isn't able to get enough out, and that is huge for this team, getting there a 4,000 gold lead for 50-50. And if we've got, I mean, we're not biased on this cast. The only thing we're biased to war is 3 games bangers, and we might be getting it here, Joe.
Yeah, so far, especially the second game is an absolute banger. We're going back and forth. Both teams have been in a good lead this game, but it's looking more and more dire for the side of Gracelight, actually. Because even when they get the fight where the Camille is completely separated from the rest of the team, they couldn't quite kill her, and they lost the Draven in the process. And now even the super fed Draven isn't carrying the fights anymore. Then you know you are in trouble. This Maokai is just not as tanky as I need him to be yet. Remember, that last fight started by an absolute explosion onto Silas, and maybe, just maybe, they used too much to see on him. But meanwhile, this Silas is looking for a fight onto Golf Baddies, but Draven comes around from the corner and picks up a kill. That was a bit greedy there from Exodia. He had to know this Malphite wouldn't want to fight him one-on-one. If he could avoid it.
Yeah, tunnel visioning again a bit. None of your team were even in that quadrant of the map. You know, that side of the map, they were very far behind, and with no vision, Draven comes up and picks up a lovely kill, and then this Camille can't transfer any of that down, but Powerful gets caught.
Glacial Prison onto Powerful. He uses the Nature's Grasp to try and stay alive, to CC everybody up, but Varus is coming from behind. The flash away from the Varus ultimate will save his life for now. Now everybody's gathered again. It's looking like this fight is over for now, but Powerful could be looking for a re-engage. Right around this Baron. You don't want to risk your life unnecessarily. But that was a real tense moment there.
Yeah, Exodia down. Again, this comp from 50-50 is quite strong now. With 5 members alive, that could have been a comp that could have pressured more of the map, could have looked to see if Gracelight crack. But now with Exodia alive, they're going to have to try and set up that Baron like they were before. Make sure Exodia just doesn't go too far deep into that top side again. Just pressuring. Cassiopeia is on this bot side. Once again, we saw this in the last fight. We might see it again. How FF the Wizard is able to use that and just tease out, you know, bit of vision denial. Where is the Camille? You know, all the pressure, we've got to answer it. And it's just testing very well here, but we've got to see that transfer into more as the gold lead has now shrunk back down to 2k.
Yeah, the Radiant Virtue has been a super important pickup for Powerfoot there. If he doesn't get that shield because he uses ultimate while he's caught there, I don't know if he survives this. So the Radiant Virtue shield, absolutely massive for him when using that Nature's Grasp. And he's got the shield available again, but there's the Camille engage onto Incisor. Exhaust is on him, but the damage is just too big. The true damage is there, and they kill the Draven. And now Godbaddy's behind enemy lines for some reason, gets knocked off, gets destroyed. It's double kill for Exodia. And this Camille, the Wizard, is absolutely carrying this game, and they're going to pick up their second turn of the game firmly in control.
You cannot leave by any means. That is what Camille's ultimate does, and it shows why this pick may have been picked up. Get on the Draven, isolate him down from far back, from close, whatever. Another Baron here, and this is where 50-50, they've got to be in the comms, they've got double TPs as well. They didn't have to invest a single one into that Baron. Play 1-3-1. Make sure that vision is tight around your mid lane. Make sure that you've got your solo laners. They've got their head screwed on. They've got their map awareness, and yet you can really start improving this gold lead. Hook goes wide from Stronger.
Yeah, Dragon in 40 seconds. That would be the soul for the side of 50-50. Storm takes the blue buff here. Both junglers have saved their smite wisely for this one. all the ultimates of all 10 champions are available. This next one could already be the fight that ultimately completely decides the game. It's a 4,500 gold lead, 450-50. If they win this with the Baron buff in their pockets, the game is over. The Wizard goes on to Goth Betties on the other side of the map. There is an engage happening. Sejuani ult goes wide. Shadowhopper flashes away. Powerful with the Nature's Grasp. Manages to save his mid laner's life, and the engage is avoided for now. Camille still pressuring that top side inhibitor turret. It's looking like 50-50 are going to be able to pick up this dragon fairly uncontested. There's now no flash, no ult on the Cassiopeia, no ult on the Maokai Draven. The Whirling Death not close enough to that dragon, so picked up for the side of 50-50. Camille now goes in onto Ghostbody under the turret, uses the Hextech ultimatum. The Q true damage is so massive, gets the solo kill in the top lane. Flashes mastery, might even pick up the inhibitor, chooses against it as the rest of the team is coming. But what can go right is going right for them at the moment. Now Incisor is chasing. There goes the Camille, though, flashes forward, gets the Q3 off! But Shadowhopper, crucially there with the Miasma, gets engaged on again, but the Wizard, the healing is so massive. Teleport coming in now from behind. Shadowhopper, can he get the shutdown? He will get the shutdown. Here comes Power Fruit onto the teleported in mid laner. Silas has bitten off more than he wants to chew here, gets stunned up by the Cassiopeia, will die, will give another shutdown over, and just after I cast the custom by saying everything's going right, everything goes wrong for the side of 50-50 as they throw away 2 shutdowns in the top lane.
That was a bit troll for there. I mean, I saw the Exodia TP, I understood why. FF the Wizard, raid boss mode right now. Just, too many champions, too much damage going on him. And yeah, Exodia fumbling his hands is just not the right call there. And yeah, that does give Gracelight a little bit more stability. You had this Baron, and it's just not come to fruition now. It's basically been thrown away here. You've still got the gold lead, you've still got the soul, but yet you've got to take this time. You've got that space. You are in the lead. Using a little bit of that time for just a mental reset is so much more important than thinking, oh, we've got to do this, we've got to do this, we've got to do this. And while that you might be the most decisive play, it might not be the right one. So reset your heads. You're ahead in this game. You're ahead in this game. Make sure FF the Wizard is on the right side of the map. Which he is, given the fact he wants to be on the opposite side of the Baron. And yeah, just focus now, because you're still in the lead.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting time now. It's more than 2 minutes until the next Baron spawns, and we're going to have to see how Team 50-50 approach this time. How well can they control the vision around that objective to maybe just even take it uncontested, or at least prepare the situation for a fight that they have the biggest odds possible to win. Because they should be in control. As you said, they do still have the gold lead. It's quite massive, actually. It's almost 4,000. They still do have the Hextech Soul, which is super valuable, especially for the split pushers. And they just need to stay patient, find their angles, find their fights, secure their vision to make sure they can close out this game.
Yeah, Marathon, he's playing quite skittishly on the map here. The usual formula is when they answer your mid lane, you push in the side lanes. When they answer your side lanes, you push in the mid lane. But Marathon is playing really far back now. He's been caught a lot of the times, but the vision hasn't been invested around this mid lane. You're going to have to look to apply it here. 3-man, oh no!
Oh no! Absolute disaster, unstoppable force of the 3 people, Nature's Grasp, rooting them up. That's a kill to Malphite though. They may have gone too deep. Varus picks up 2 kills. He was not caught by that unstoppable force, and they're using it to perfection. Triple kill for the Varus. Incisor will also fall to the Wizard. He still can't 1v1 the Camille. Blade legs bigger than axes in this game. And what looked like absolute disaster has turned out quite fine for them. Now with 4 corpses on the floor, they might actually try to end this game before the Baron spawns.
Just the damage could not be applied in the right areas, just could not get it down, and yeah, they'll be able to take this tower, take this inhibitor. It's 18 seconds on Goth Baddies and Power Fruit, maybe even more.
Flash forward onto Shadow RP, steals the ultimate, flashes forward immediately. They get the shutdown onto the Cassiopeia as well. Now everybody's dead. Less than 10 seconds until 3 are back alive though, so they're picking up the top lane inhibitor on the way. They secure themselves that Nexus turret. Here come the respawns. Can they save their base? Gracelight, no saving grace for them this game. The Nexus is being destroyed. They're just focusing it 1-1 in this series. What a banger game. We're going to game 3.
Oh my god, 50-50. They don't want to be in the trophy cabinet of Gracelight Ruby. They're picking up one of their own, and fair play. Big shout outs to FF the Wizard, saying we're not going to go tank top lanes, we're going to try and get an advantage every time we can. And he was able, just the highlight player, the most damage in the game, just played absolutely to perfection, making sure he can apply that pressure by himself. And that's what you can do when top lane is not an island, folks.
Yeah, absolute massive Camille game from the Wizard. Also great mental, honestly, from the bot side, from Maritime and Lyre, who were getting clobbered in the early stages of the game, but kept their head in it. And when it mattered, Maritime got that triple kill in the end. He still dealt more damage than the Draven over the course of the game. So great mental for them as well. And the mental aspect is something that is going to come in now, because since Gracelight lost their series to our undefeated team in I think week 2 it was, they haven't dropped a single game. This is the first singular game they have lost since their week 2 defeat. Now, what does that do to their mental, especially since they had such an early, almost 4,000 gold lead that they threw away? Can they keep their head cool to win game 3?
Yeah, I mean, nothing has changed as well on the side of the scores, as 2 of the games have already been concluded. One of them we're watching now, and the other one still 1-0 Quantified Nova with that incredibly dominant victory. So we will not go to a break. We will hopefully just get into this game 3 as quickly as possible. Maybe might go to grab some water, because game 3 bangers, they may be enjoyable. They're enjoyable for all of us. Our throats, not enjoying it too much, but I'm feeling good to go if you are.
I will need to get myself some lubrication for my throat, but I'm joining lobby already. I'm already looking forward to game 3, as almost everybody's here already.
Go get your lube, man. Go get your lube. I'll hold down the fort.
All right, hold the fort.
Hi, chat. Hi, everyone. How are you all doing? Even the people in the goddamn lobby heard that one. I enjoyed that one. But yeah, still the same story with 1-0 to Quantify, when still not getting too much on there. A load of people are pinging me, but I don't know if it's just the okay, it's just the general stuff. All right, awesome.
Right, I have returned from representing the entire cast on my fridge, getting a beer, getting something to drink. Because we need to be prepared. If that next game is going to be anyway as much of a banger as the second one, I can't wait.
Yeah, I have just gone through some tickets, and I can't believe I didn't see this, but just for some information and update on what happened to Ablaze versus Frostbite Mystics, Ablaze Academy could not find the players, so they sadly had to FF. Which they weren't happy to do, but it was what they had to do. So, yeah, that is a shame, but thank you for letting me know for that. But yeah, production's ready whenever you guys are. It's such an interesting back and forth. We had the same comp pretty much come out from the side of it was Gracelight. Is there anything you want them to change now? What do you want to now maybe change up? Is it just execution?
It's not just execution. Of course, that's the main part. They need to theorycraft a way to stop the Camille, or they could just ban it, of course. I don't think the Wizard can have as much of an impact on a champion like Ornn, which they have banned both games so far. But of course, I haven't seen his Ornn. It might be just as much of a menace as the Camille, but the Camille, of course, the champion with much more carry potential, and of course, with the potential to have such a long range engage on the Draven and then just two-shot him with the Divine Sunderer proccing. So probably the Camille ban is going to come out. I very much expect that. But also, I would probably like to see Shadowhopper on a champion a bit more mobile than Cassiopeia again. Because the way these fights happened in the first game, it was super useful for him to be able to reposition on that Ahri multiple times. And though the Ahri was banned in the last game, they might find a champion that has similar abilities to move around the battlefield a bit more than that Cassiopeia was able to.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do definitely agree with the Ornn ban. I know it is one of FF Wizards' most played champions, but yeah, I mean, just maybe you do want something like a tank slapping in the top lane, maybe using that ban against something more interesting. It is 50-50, just to make sure. Yes, it is 50-50 on the blue side. Gracelight have chosen red side, which is the same side they were on last time, but it will mean that first pick, maybe they didn't like the draft. They didn't like the fact that they could get that Silas R3, get that R5. They want it for themselves. We do see a lot of teams prioritizing red side when it comes to draft. But the same story with Misfortune ban, but in a different order. Maybe they're not going for the Wukong or Ornn here, Joe.
Yeah, it certainly does look that way. MF was their third ban in both of the first games. Red side OP, apparently. 100% win rate in this series so far. And Gracelight are looking for those counter picks this game. It's been the story, as you said, of the series a little bit, with that Silas R3 surprise against the strong ultimates that Gracelight like to draft themselves in the first phase. Wukong ban. I am predicting a Camille here, because, what's Ornn gonna do if a Draven is this fed?
But do you need to ban Camille in the first stage? I mean, if Camille is picked, you're probably picking it blind here. No, you will definitely be picking it blind if you're on blue side. So, save Camille for the third phase of bans. If they pick Camille, you can pick anything you want against it. So, if it is going to be the return to the Ornn, you've got to be ready for that Camille. Maybe they were just like, we didn't know the Camille was a threat. We'll get that banned. There's Sejuani banned, which has been a constant. It was in game one, not having that flex, and they go to the Rel.
Yeah, Rel also 100% win rate so far this series. So very contested picks so far. The Sejuani ban is interesting to me because when 50-50 had it in top lane, it really didn't do anything. But now that Glowon had it in the jungle last game, it absolutely dominated the early game. It made sure Powerfruit could not play the game in the first 20 minutes last time. So that Maokai was severely behind where he wanted to be, and the counter for the Rel that they've chosen to go for this game is the Rakan. Is Xayah maybe on the horizon too?
Very much could be, and Incisor does play it, and it can be a really nice roaming champion if they want to go for something like that. I love the Sejuani ban. It was 4 melee with Sejuani, so it could have been a core plan of their game. They just want to ban it out. The Trundle. I mean, usually you want to play that into a Sejuani, but God, I've seen this champion over and over again punish amateur teams. It's so much 1v1 damage, so many slows, and if you're going to run so many tanks again on 50-50 side, then there's a lot of stats for Trundle to steal.
Yeah, I think it's a brave pick to pick Trundle this early into a draft, telegraphing exactly what you want to do in fights. And here comes the Syndra that was banned in game 1 for Exodia. Really interested to see where that is heading when it comes to their playstyle this time. Varus for the third time in 3 games. Never change a winning formula, I guess, here. Maritain's best champion, it seems, at least the one they want to prioritize for the style they're looking to play. But here comes Incisors famed Samira. No more Draven. Now we're going Pirate.
Yeah, I mean, if 50-50 win this game, we should be doing some reconsidering, because this is Incisor's pocket pick. This is his just golden champion, you know, the golden case, anything that is just your hidden power, that is the metaphor that you need to use for Insides of Samira. He has gotten pentakills on this champion on stream. He is able to dominate games, really loves the Duskblade build, going that really untargetable. Samira can be so mobile with those resets, so very strong on the bot side, and Trundle as well could be really annoying to pair with. I love this from Gracelight switching it up.
Yeah, also the not on ban, not getting punished, means they ban the on in the second phase. Now they have one more ban, which could even go toward a Camille or a jungler they want to get rid of, and there is the Maokai ban. So far, Powerfruit has played the Maokai himself in both of these games. That is a sign that the Trundle is definitely going jungle. He's not going to get flex top, I assume. Of course, they could still do that, but I do think Powerfruit will stay with the Trundle. They're saving their top lane pick probably for R5, so I'm guessing now they want to counter the Syndra. And I'm really interested to see what Shadowhopper has in store for that. It's Orianna. We're going team fighting, boys.
Interesting. Maybe using that just for the range, make sure Syndra can't get too aggressive, you know, can stack I forget what the name is. It's like power stacks early. It's usually done by dealing damage with your abilities, and if you've got a control mage as safe as Orianna, be a lot more useful in these fights. Put it on a Rakan, put the ball on Trundle, and watch the team evaporate. Yeah, I do like it, but it's got to be able to do the damage. Jax now picked up with Hecarim Hover.
That is a spicy one. I love the Jax here because he is such a difficult champion to abuse in the early game that still scales well. And Viego is also really good into the Trundle in the jungle. Now they have no tanks that Trundle can steal massive stats from. Of course, that could be punished by having the Samira just fly in and one-shot everybody. But as long as they manage to space far enough apart that the Orianna Shockwave with the Rakan isn't just absolutely going to destroy them by itself, this could be a very big one, and the top lane is going to be a completely explosive one because Darius has been picked up here for Goth, and it's going to be Darius versus Jax. A lot of action this time, I think, in both side lanes.
Oh, it is a skill matchup in the top side. It is one of those things where if Darius can get an apprehend off max range, it just outranges Jax's counter-strike. I was talking with a master top laner about this specific matchup. It is so skill-based. Obviously, you'd think Darius has the immediate advantage in the early game, and he does, but it's one you cannot fall behind on. You cannot take your eyes off for a second if you're playing these champions. Viego as well. I mean, Jax could be really good into Trundle as well with how auto attack based his damage is on Trundle, how close he has to get, and the Viego with these resets, with how scrappy these fights in, we could get some really nice resets here from Glowon, not going towards the tanks, saying all bets are off. It's carry on carry on carry, and I'm here for it. I forgot we had a 3-minute spectator delay, so I'm gonna have to lower my energy a little.
Yeah, but this also means they choose to stay with the split push style. They had the Camille on the Wizard in the last game, and absolutely that was the factor that made them win the game for the most part, and they put him on a split push champion again, and once again, a split push champion that can engage on the backline, a split push champion that can teamfight if needs be. The Jax is the perfect answer for not being able to blind pick a Camille. We'll really have to see if Goth can pick up a couple kills in the early game on that Darius to be able to keep the Jax contained. Because if he cannot, this could be the nail in the coffin. Because a Jax running rampant can be as dangerous as a Camille. I also like a lot of battlefield control with the Rel and the Syndra. And don't you dare let Viego get any resets. On the other side, it's pretty straightforward. Give Rakan the ball, get a big shockwave, let Samira mop up the rest of the fight.
Yeah, we have a similar situation as well with Shadow Hopper going on a champion like Orianna, who can match that split push a little bit, but not against Jax. You know, FF's Jax, if that gets ahead, you know, Orianna, you know, she might be able to clear the wave, but a leap strike, a flash counter strike into that as well. There's so many strikes when it comes to Jax's abilities. I've completely forgotten that.
Well, all he has to hit people with is a lamppost.
Yeah,
he needs no strikes, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, he chooses a lamppost because him choosing a proper weapon would be unfair, which I just think is so badass. I love that. You know, come for the League of Legends, stay for the random bits of lore that we remember from that one Necrid video.
That's why my favorite Jax skin is Angular Jax, because then he doesn't even have a lamppost. It's just a goddamn fishing rod.
Yeah.
Imagine being bludgered to death by a fishing rod, and it still makes those sounds.
Oh yeah, and the skin got reworked on Wild Rift, and he like fishes he hooks a fish out the water, and it's like all clean, and it's like, damn, why can't we get this in League? And then it's like, oh, god damn it. And then you look at his like old skins, and it's like, ooh, look at that 2011 color scheme. Look at that champion. But
most egregious with Vladimir too.
Oh god, oh my god.
Vladimir to League of Legends Vladimir. All right, back to the game. We're about to load into loading screen. Give me a prediction, Samurai. Who's going to win this game 3? I'm putting you on the spot.
I'll have to do it now because I think I'm going to lose my voice by the end of it. I am going to guess Gracelight. 2-1.
So,
but it has to be a 2-1.
No reverse sweep predicted here by our color caster. I'm going 50-50 actually on this one. I'm thinking the Wizards found his fancy feet now, as the title in the loading screen says as well. And I'm predicting he's going to carry this game as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, just the way I went at it again, it is an easier comp for the side of 50-50. Have I messed? Okay. Okay, I remember now. Right. Sorry, I'm thinking stuff in my head. Out loud.
Don't you worry. 10. I would be ready. I am paused.
Nice. I will get to 10. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, game 3 of the final week's game in Division 3 of Valence League here in our second split of the year. On blue side, we have Team 50-50. On red side, we have Team Gracelight Ruby, who were almost undefeated. They had only lost one series before today. They had only lost 0 games after that series loss a long time ago. But now it's 1-1 between these two teams. And 50-50 is looking to get to 4th place, to get the good placing towards the first round of playoffs. Gracelight is locked for 2nd place, but if they wanted to cement they're an actual threat to 1st place in playoffs, they will need to put their stamp on this game much better than they did in their game 2 defeat, where the Camille of the Wizard carried. Now, Samurai, where do you expect the early action to happen? What do you think the junglers want to do in the first 5 minutes of the game?
I mean, it's split strategies here right now. Glow-On wanting to path towards that top side. It is double melee. There is no flash on the Darius. And Darius probably going to get that push in as well. So I very much understand it from his perspective. But Incisor and Stronger is the lane that you've got to get ahead. Samira does not scale particularly well with Rakan. You've got to get them ahead. And I love this pathing as well. They're going to have the push, so you do need the cover for that as well. Get down bot side, so you'll have Rift Scuttlers, not very much contested, so but I'm expecting bot side with this level 1.
They're cheesing. Stronger gets the knock-up onto Marathon, but Incisor wasn't close enough to get any damage done before they went down again. And here comes the re-engaged Lyre. That is so much damage on the Stronger. Both exhausts have been used. Stronger already having to flash away because of the ignite from Lyre, and that cheese just was not what they were looking for.
Yeah, and Glow-On smells blood in the water. He wants Stronger. There's no flash on him. He wants it.
Lyre flashes forward onto Stronger. He has no more escape after his W has been used. First blood goes to the Viego.
Oh my god, lovely again. Saw what Power Fruit did in game 1, saw the how he pathed and saying, hey, I can do that too, I can be opportunistic, goes towards that bot lane and gets it. Trundle wanting to punish, and if Viego goes to his Raptors, that will be a nice blue buff for Trundle. But a beautiful first blood puts 50-50 ahead for now.
Yeah, Maritime really feeling the confidence right now here. Pushing the wave into the turret. The Wizard, understandably, having a bit more of a quiet one here in the early stages. Can't really fight the Darius early. As the Jax just trying to farm as well as he can as he exchanges Lamppost for an actual weapon. Which might be against the lore, but it does look cool. Here comes the Counter-Strike, but he's in the middle of a wave. He doesn't really want to fight this. He just wants this Darius to leave a little bit. One curious fact that could be interesting for the rest of the game. Goth Baddies opted against picking up the flash. Went with the Ghost Teleport, and they're looking for the Viego. Ghost activated from Goth Baddies. There is the trophy, and Glowon has no way to escape. They knew he used the flash in the bot lane for the first blood, and that means an easy kill onto the enemy jungler. And the blue buff as well for Power Fruit, while the bot laners are still trading. Good damage from Maritan, but they won't be happy about their jungler dying.
Yeah, Power Fruit, it's now Power Fruit's turn to get on the case of Glowon. This Viego needs to stay out, but Power Fruit going for even more.
Flash.
Yeah, going for even more. And a double scuttle as well. This is the power of Trundle in the early game. Viego, he wants to get going. He wants to get 2 items, but the bot lane's here to support him.
Yeah, this is going to be a skirmish. Power Fruit might be too far forward by himself. Flashes over the wall. Glowon will keep chasing, culling the weak, scattering the weak, pardon me. Just barely missing there. If that hits Power Fruit, that could very well mean his demise. He manages to get out of there. The scuttle, though, picked up by Glowon, saving his early game. He might still be half a level behind, but at least they got that vision for the bot lane, and it means that Viego isn't hopelessly behind, because he did get that early kill. That helps tremendously here as the Wizard is pushing in this top wave. Has to be careful though, this lane is long enough. Goth Baddies gets engaged here, but the wave is just too big.
Yeah, has a lovely little farm that he's going to have to pick up. Will have to stay in lane. And yeah, this is going to be very tense right now because we have a completely different situation. Goth Baddies getting the early lead is different from when it was FF the Wizard. And then Maritan, he has been abused. He has been pressured all game in this series, in these past 2 series, and now this time he finds the advantage on himself. So it'll be interesting how these 2 players who have not had this before put in new territory, asking them to carry, and I'd love to see which part of the map is going to pull through.
Yeah, just a reverse situation of basically both of the first 2 games. No Draven means no early lead for Incisor, but as you mentioned, the Samira is his pocket pick. I do expect some surprises to come out here. Power Fruit looking for a lane gank here in the bot lane, but so far Lyre and Maritan not falling for the bait. Just quietly farming, freezing the wave just in front of the tower where they want it to be for the Verispoke to land. Scatter the weak. Damage on the Shadow Hopper, but he's looking to win these trades. The auto attacks of Orianna early on just so potent.
Power
against
yeah.
Majid. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, that's my bad. Power Fruit is spending a lot of time down here. I think they might have seen him because Viego, there's no way you just go into the jungle while your jungle is up and then get it stronger. He's not gonna go down for now.
The fact alone that they're not hard engaging onto that catch onto stronger means they knew the Trundle is there, right?
But do they know yes, they do.
Yeah, they know exactly what is there.
But do they die
still,
anyway?
The knockup lands onto Lyre, but he can just jump away. If he doesn't use that jump to engage, he can just always use it to escape. And now Power Fruit, he's wasted a good minute, and now he gets stopped in the recall as well. That is not what they were looking for here. Oh,
Top
that's
side.
A good stun onto Goth Baddies. The Viego and the Syndra are right behind. The Darius can't really fight back here. Goth Baddies forced back in lane, and now he's already 10 CS behind despite that early kill.
Yeah, not looking good on the top side. He went for the Ninja Tabbies, trying to get, this damage that Jax is going to be able to get. He's getting out, but Yeah, this is not going well. This is a skill matchup in this top side, and it's going towards FF the Wizard for now. If this Jax becomes a threat, he is going to be unstoppable 1v1 in a side lane, doing the same thing we had in game 2. Finding the pressure and then using TP advantage, using that. Oh god, Orianna!
Well, that's a huge scatter of the week. If he presses R here, he might kill Shadowhopper, but chooses against it because if he doesn't get that kill, the ult is kind of wasted. Now Shadowhopper is looking to recall anyway, and so he decides against it. Now Gothbaddies gets engaged on by the Wizard, who has no mana, gets apprehended in, and here comes the Trundle. Can the Wizard get something done before the Trundle is there? Because if he has to fight 1v2, he can't win. But if Darius can't be part of the fight, he can escape. And it's looking that way. Powerfruit still level 5. Can't really do all too much there. That was brave by the Wizard, but gets away with it without using Flash even. What? He's looking for it, he flashes in! He gets... No! He doesn't get the solo kill! Gothbaddies gets away on single-digit HP. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though, Live tries to fight Scissor. Immediate exhaust from both sides, and Scissor is very low, but Merton is being ignited. Gloon and Exodia are coming, but they're just a little bit too late to make something happen there. And despite so many abilities and summoner spells used, still 1-to-1 in kills overall. The game much slower than the two before.
The double knockup with that grand entrance might have saved his buddy, so critical that he doesn't fall behind. And in that top side, oh my lord, you really saw the apprehend there, just being able to just knock Jax out of that damage range. He couldn't get it down, and yeah, without mana, Powerfruit maybe could have looked for more, but that initial trade, Powerfruit not having ultimate and then Darius not getting the bleed stacks meant that that Jax could very much 1v2 there. And yeah, he's 1v2ing at 9 minutes. What's he gonna do at 25 and 30 minutes? Only FF the Wizard will know. You gotta watch to find out, folks.
Oh, Exodia is eating a lot of poke here. Flashes away from the shockwave. Now, can they get Shadowhopper? That's one stun. There's Glow on the Viego. Can he get another stun going? No, he cannot. Shadowhopper will get away. He doesn't even need the flash. Exodia wasted 2/3 of his health bar to find that engage, and has to use his flash to live, and they don't even get the flash back. Very well done by Shadowhopper.
Yeah, that's poor from Glow on. He really needed to find that stun so he could get the passive damage down, get the auto attacks. There's a fight here!
No. Stronger using the charm. Exodia is already dead. They get Incisor, not quite Glow on. Can he find the stun? Yes, he can. He gets the kill onto Incisor, but he will die before he can become Samira. Advantage for Gracelight in this fight, and Dragon immediately engaged. Powerfruit's on it, but it's looking like 50-50 are still pondering, trying to contest this one, maybe with a Varus arrow from downtown to steal it. But Powerfruit doesn't have the smite. They could actually make that happen. They have a ward on it. Can he get it? No, he can't quite get it. It goes to Stronger. Good try though on the steal.
Yeah, if he knew that Powerfruit didn't have smite, it would have been probably a very easy pickup, but he tried to predict the smite, trying to sort of get the health at the right sort of time, but it doesn't go, ends up sort of leashing it, but it was a good try. But yeah, Gracelight, Ruby, very much coming out on top of that one. Gothbaddies maybe turning us a bit around in the top side with a nice little health advantage. We will have to see. They are currently sitting at a 800 gold lead, and the majority of that 400 on the top side and 400 in the jungle. Yeah, this top side, can Gothbaddies do what FF the Wizard did to him last time? With the Ghost, it's very much possible in these long lanes.
Yeah, and let's not forget Trundle still has the Eye of the Herald in the inventory. If they get an engage in the mid, and that's a good shockwave onto Exodia, pushes away Shadowhopper with the Scatter of the Weak, and will survive this, but I imagine they still will want to summon this Rift Herald here to get some plates in the mid lane. Stronger has rotated up as well, and there comes Incisor. They might even look for getting this entire tower, forcing the teleport now from Exodia to defend this Herald, because they do want to keep their mid lane turret alive at any cost.
Yeah, that gold going onto Shadowhopper. I mean, he has been getting some good advantages. Maybe they want to play through mid side here. This Orianna is 1-0-1 with a good sizable gold lead as well. So it's very possible that they want to have this Orianna go, but Orianna can be one of those champions where she can land her damage or she very much can't, especially because you've got you know, that ultimate. It can go wide. It can get all 5 members. So Shadow Hopper's got to be the one to step up here, and Gothbaddy's gonna have to have that gold lead be the one he generates himself. He goes in. Ghost!
Apprehend lands. He pops the ghost. The wizard pops the ultimate immediately. But can he live here? There is the execute. And while the Noxian Guillotine didn't quite get the kill, the Q afterwards does, and Gothbaddy's with a solo kill in the top lane. And now this Darius is very much online, and look at the vision. If he ever gets ganked, he will know in time. And it's looking like Gracelight have found their stride again after the early game being very back and forth. Somehow all these plays in the last few minutes have been going their way. And 50-50 need to stay their mental up. They get the engage onto Incisor. Why is he so far forward all alone? He's against 3 people. He knew there were 3 people. There's the Ignite. They get the kill. Claude picks it up. Exodia looking for damage on the Shadow Hopper, but the Shockwave ensures the solo kill. And once one thing goes right, another thing goes wrong for 50-50. But they do have the 3-man push in the bot lane. Trundle's here, though, to defend this turret. And when the dust settles, it's 1,000 gold lead for Gracelight still. But at least they find something in the bot lane.
Yeah, so much to cover there. First of all, why that was a skill matchup right there. The counter-strike a little bit poorly timed from the Jax, not able to get the stun. And then he doesn't use the flash on top of that because Darius has the space in the lane to run him down with the Ghost. It's one you just had to be aware of as the Jax, and he wasn't able to capitalize on it. He wasn't able to. Shows you how much this lane can just go back and forth, really depending on the skill. 2 kills on this Darius is going to be so big for him. But yeah, in that top size incisor, he tried the fancy feat. I've seen it so many times, but without that Dusk Blade and the ability to get a reset on that into targetability, he is still just a level 8 Samira into 3 people. A nice kill on that bot side, and yeah, you can't take your eyes off it. It's just going everywhere and nothing. Fighting the top side, and there you see the apprehend. There you see it. You see how he was able to apprehend, the stun couldn't go off, and it was just out of range so that the Darius could get away. Shows you just, you know, the dynamics of this lane. FF the Wizard trying to ward, but gets killed, and with Trundle on the top side, that could be big.
Yeah, I think really smart by Gothbaddies is that he chose to invest the gold lead he has into tier 2 boots, and that means so much more space in lane. Meanwhile, Shadow Hopper is getting jumped on, 3 people, no escape, shutdown. Goes to Exodia. Meanwhile, the top laner's duel, and this time it's looking like the Wizard has a chance. He presses the ultimate, 5 bleed stacks on him though, and a Noxian Guillotine kills him. Marathon is being doped by 2 people here, but the exhaust was perfectly timed. Gets the kill onto Incisor. Stronger has no way out. He's being focused by the turret. Double kill for Marathon. 3-0-2 in his 3rd Varus game. And as you mentioned earlier, it's the complete reverse of the first game. This time, and the second game, this time, the lead in the top lane goes to Gracelight. Well, this time Marathon is far ahead of Incisor, and the action just doesn't stop. They're looking for Drake. They chase away Power Fruit. It's gonna be their first Drake of the game. A Cloud one for them. Well, it's better than nothing, and it moves people greatly. Help the Wizard in lane if it's not just already too late, as Gothbaddies is crippling him with that Darius.
Solo Bolo on the top side, a 2-for-1 dive that gets turned around by Marathon. What are we supposed to look at? There's action everywhere, and the play in the mid lane as well, that shut down onto Shadow Hopper. All that gold that was being invested to him now going over in part to the team of 50-50. It's a 1k gold lead, but so much of this is on this Darius, a 1.8 thousand gold lead with another 1.3 thousand on the enemy of Marathon. Yeah, it's Gothbaddies or it's Marathon right now. How well can the team play around him? Shadow Hopper gets the tower, but will he trade his life?
It's looking like it. There's so much you see here. The Magnet Storm not quite helping. The Rakan, can he save him? No, he cannot. Go on. Now gets the reset. Is Oriana. That's big damage. Meanwhile, the shutdown for Gothbaddies. He's destroying the backline. Double kill on the Darius. He's got 5 already. He's got the triple. And that was absolute destruction. Why does he teleport in there into 4 people? Can he at least get Incisor? No, he cannot. Quadra kill for Gothbaddies. Absolute destruction! What are you doing? You're running into a Darius, 1 by 1. He's Darius!
Oh my god, there was a Penta example as well, but yeah, Gracelight Ruby, we asked, who could carry this game more? Is it Goth Baddies or is it Marathon? And then just a very poorly executed fight, the TP coming in kind of out of nowhere, and then Goth Baddies just can get that consistent damage, apply the bleed stacks, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he's 7 and 0. This is exactly what he needs to do. He wants revenge for that game too, and he's turning up in this third game. Excellent from the top laner.
And the most fun fact for him is, while the wizard teleported into 4 people for absolutely no reason, Goth Baddies walked to that fight. He just walked up.
That's Darius. He just walks at you. That's all he has. That's why he's gone ghost instead of that flash. And he just walks up and he just deals all your damage while being extremely tanky, while healing all of it. Shadow Hopper, the stun goes wide.
Yeah, Exodia not quite hitting that, but there's Glow on the shockwave, hits them both, but Glow on will keep chasing. He's got that stun available and he will stun Shadow Hopper. Teleport is coming in now. Goth Baddies once more. Glow on gets that kill. The Apprehend hits the Viego, but he resets. But there's the ultimate, the Noxian Guillotine. The bleed will kill him. Goth Baddies is legendary. 18 minutes into the game. And this Darius looks absolutely unstoppable currently. Now, Liar is going to get killed as well. He has no way out. Flashes over the wall, but in scissors there, the jump. Oh, he actually has a way out. But then he went back forward. He's under the turret. He gets stunned up. He uses his defensive capabilities to survive. I did not expect that to happen. Now the wizard has found a new foe. No more Noxians. This is just a troll, but Troll King he is. And so you have to be real careful when dueling him.
This is just Goth Baddies world, and we're all living it, folks. I mean, this is just incredible. I actually think with that Counter-Strike pop, if Power Fruit could have healed up with that ultimate, that would be able to be turned around. Trundle has insane 1v1 potential, some of the best in the game with that ultimate. I keep forgetting what its name is. Something like Menacing Stare or something. Or like, go on, I'll have a look. Subjugate. My god.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just able to steal all your stats. Just a complete swing in that 1v1. But ends up just both lanes backing. And yeah, who is going to stop this Darius? Maybe someone at range, says 50-50, as they send Syndra as well as Glow on to try and answer this split push.
Yeah, they need to hit the Darius with the Scatter the Weak Stun from Syndra and kill him before he gets out of the stun, which they don't currently have the damage for yet. They're not playing Poke Varus, they're not playing a Varus that can one-shot from range. He's got that Kraken Slay, he's going to try to auto-attack the Darius to death. Meanwhile, the wizard has found a third challenger, and this time it's Orianna. But Shadow Hopper just presses QW, walks away.
And that's how Shadow Hopper can answer a... that's how an Orianna can answer a split push. Even when you have Jax in melee range, you still have the speed up from your W, the shield as well, and you're able to stay at range, at distance, get that disengage. The ultimate as well, the shockwave, is a nice disengage tool if things get really heavy. So, put Orianna in the top lane. You had a good lane that went bad, but it's now 50-50. They see the people topside, and they're going for Baron.
Yeah, Darius and Trundle have shown on the bot side this could be the absolutely unstoppable Baron sneak if they find a way to survive the engage from the rest of the team long enough to get the Baron. Shadowhopper gets engaged on Bilal. They keep on the Baron. Samira and Rakan are not quite in range to help. They're going to get the Baron. Dragon picked up by Darius and Trundle while the Herald pushed this down the bottom lane, but that was a brilliant macro call from the side of 50-50 to stay in the game. They're still 3,500 gold behind, but their Baron could be absolutely invaluable as they look to take this top turret as well.
Gracelight tunnel on the Dragon, and that is exploited by 50-50. Not only getting the Dragon, but Darius was so focused on getting Dragon Prio that he didn't get the gold from that tier 2 tower. He wasn't in range. And because all of those members were focused on that bot side, the Varus is able to get even more gold, getting that top tier 1. Just a complete drop of the ball there from Gracelight, and exploited by 50-50 as they try and recover this gold lead. But remember, this is Goth Baddies' world. It is his simulation to play around in, and still getting stronger by the minute. I would not want to face this Darius ever.
Yeah, as long as he's this ahead, he is still the absolute focal point of this game. Though Marathon is getting there. He's got the exhaust, which is going to be real useful against this Darius. He's 3-1-4. He's got 2 items, and if he gets that Rage Blade stacked, he's going to attack a lot. And if the Darius does get hit by 2 stuns in a row, maybe they can get him down before he can heal with that Q. But woe them if the Darius ever hits a Q on 1 or 2 or more people.
Oh yeah, and it is one of the saving grace in these team fights. Darius is usually not very good playing front to back. He's really got to sort of space back and forth, get the bleed stacks without going. Marathon has to flash from a very scary engage from the side of Gracelight. But, oh, Lyre going in.
You can't leave your Varus alone like that, and that is way too far forward for Lyre. Powerfruit looking to find something here. The wizard behind them. But now this could be the collapse. Darius is chasing Syndra away. Exodia had to flash over the Dragon Pit wall, but it's not done. Gothbaddies has popped the ghost, and he has that Dead Man's Blade. He can run at the speed of sound. Now Exodia is going to have to make a grand escape. Powerfruit, oh, he's found him in the brush, and he's gonna kill him. That's a dead Syndra, and that means the flash earlier was wasted as well. Not a great look. They had been looking so good macro-wise. They had found the place on the opposite sides of the map where the strong point of Gothbaddies was. But now the Syndra losing their life. They're way too far up in this mid lane. They're gonna get collapsed on here. Powerfruit finding Lyre, but the rest of his team is recalling. I'm not sure what's happening in communications on the side of Gracelight here, but there was a flash forced from Powerfruit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 50-50 have been playing this well, and then they just decided to make a Grace-like sandwich and have your mid laner, very weak, just completely further towards your enemy base than the entire enemy team. And yet she just gets picked off. Glowon is able to get out though. But yeah, I didn't understand that one particularly too well. This Darius still so strong, and yeah, I probably would have preferred him in this top side to get that tier 2 and maybe to just apply a bit more pressure when you need to have this dragon, which will be the objective that spawns first. But yeah, we are looking, it still seems so close. 50-50 are just eking out advantages, trying to stay in this game and avoid the Darius. And yeah, it is going to come down to this Dragon Soul and this next Baron. So I cannot wait to see what these teams throw at it.
Yeah, honestly, 50-50 have done a pretty good job at stabilizing this game. Since the Darius got the Quadra kill, they have not given much when it comes to gold lead difference. Mostly because of that Baron. The gold lead is still less than 4,000, despite them having the 8-0 Darius on the other side for the last 5, 6, 7 minutes. They've not lost more in the game, but that still means they're pretty behind, and they need to find a way to stop this Darius from completely annihilating them if they ever choose to fight. This Jax needs at least a second item to be somewhat of a threat.
Look how early Gracelight are in setting up this dragon, but they're gonna fight!
Powerfruit has no flash, he lost it earlier, remember, he gets trapped by the... Oh no, Powerfruit has slain Lyra already. They turn it around, Incisor goes in, but loses his life. Marathon cannot save himself, and the Darius hasn't even started being in the fight. Powerfruit is the one who's absolutely dismantling them. That engage completely turned around on them. Why would you choose to chase so far? And now they've lost 4 members. This could already be game, Samurai.
And Incisor, after being on the back foot for the entirety of this game, kept his eye on the ball the entire time, destroys all the lead that Marathon has. 50 FF Wizard trying to save the game, but he gets taken down. Lyre trying to do it as well. This could be game!
Yeah, they're walking into the Darius one by one because they have to, but the Nexus is already being destroyed. GG! Gracelight of a monster Darius performance from Gothbaddies, and admittedly a very strong performance from Powerfruit on that Trundle as well. They turn it around. The early game looked even, and the game was even until it wasn't. That Quadra kill onto Gothbaddies Darius, just utter destruction, and then the very next fight ends the series 2-1 victory for Gracelight. Congratulations.
Oh my god, what a game. Could have gone to any team at any point, except for that game one. 50-50, well played. That was a loss that you fought every step of the way. You did really well. My voice starting to feel the strain of that, but thank God for that. It just reflects how good these teams were, and it was Goth Baddies Darius in the end on that perfect game, getting the most damage quite expectedly. But unless there's anything you want to say, Joe, we'll go to quick break and then we'll get our interview.
Yeah, looking forward to the interview as well. I'm hoping we can talk to Goth Baddies, but I'd be happy with any of them. Really looking forward to see what they have to say towards playoffs. We'll see you in about 2 minutes, I'd say. Don't touch your browser.
There you go. All right, thank you very much, guys. We will be getting our interview. I hate streamer mode so goddamn much. Because I can't see your names. But yeah, thank you very much, Gracelight Powerfruit, for joining us. That was an intense series. You guys must be very relieved after that one.
Yeah. We definitely are.
Tell me, after that first game, you felt really strong, but then what happened in that game too? You guys were feeling good, but then they were just able to eke out an advantage on that Camille. What was the biggest difficulty you faced in this series, and how did you address it in comms?
So game one went pretty smoothly, right? But then game two, I think we got like a little overconfident, I would say, in our picks. With Malphite first rotation, with not respecting that the enemy top laner can play Camille. Also first picking Maokai in that kind of team comp. They pulled against it. It was like really rough because it couldn't do anything. After Sejuani invaded me for my blue buff, and then the scuttle fight went horribly wrong. Was really bad by me. Take all the blame. It was like kinda doomed for me, at least in the early stages, because it's really hard to recover from that because Sejuani got fat and just could do more, right? And yeah, and we tried to crawl back into the game, but they played it really, really good. Played off the Camille really, really good, and maybe we could have fighted them because on the last interaction where Malphite hit the 4-man ult, right? We maybe could have done something, but at that point we were just a little bit too far behind, I guess. Yeah, but then we said, okay, boys, let's do it clean again. Try to get something a little bit different with our ban approach. Get off the Sejuani flex and get a Trundle in, so they can't really pick the Ornn, where Wizard is well known for, right? Because like top lane Ornn into Trundle is like really hard to play. Ended up getting it because they didn't ban the Darius, and while we had counterpick, and then Darius did Darius things.
Yeah, we all saw that, and that actually is the perfect transition to my next question. You have a man that goes 8-0 on Darius, just casually destroying the enemy team. Why do you put this man on Malphite duty?
Because he restrained himself to the tank jail Malphite. No, because like in scrims it worked out pretty good, right? And we had like Darius is like very dependent on the enemy team comp also, because if they have a lot of CC and stuff like that, it's really hard to pull it off. And if you just get behind as Darius, it kind of feels like he can't do anything, because he's well known for solo Q stomp, right, when he's ahead, because of lack of communication and stuff like that. But in fives it's different, and in this last game it was like Maddie said, yeah, give me Darius here, it's good. And we win, and we won.
Yes, you did. We will go to more games, especially for that third game and what was going on, but we do have the questions in chat. Please do ask them. I'm seeing some interesting ones right now, but we will go to that game 3 as well, because it was very different from that second game. You had Goth Baddies in the top lane get such an amazing lead, especially because FF the Wizard had it in the second game, but then you had that Varus who was able to really take it to that Incisor stronger duo. How did you play around that very different dynamic? Focus on that game 3 and what was going on in your mind as the jungler.
As soon as I saw that my ADC on Samira went 0, 2 and 1, I guess it was, I was calling that Samira was preparing for a pentakill, because he did it already once where he was like that far behind, and it almost got a pentakill, right? It was Darius, but who cares? Yeah, I think like I knew as soon as I was like Darius solo killed the Jackson top lane. I think for me it was like already one in my head, because Goth Baddies, Maddie, doesn't give up leads, right? And he knows how to be efficient on a champion, he knows what to do. And also we had like Orianna stomping the Syndra in mid lane, right? He got a solo kill, he was 2 levels up. He was so clutch in all the ganks he got. I mean, one time they were 3 in mid lane and he didn't even need to flash. And just casually being there. And then, yeah, I was like, game 3, it was never in doubt for me at least. Also I had like Trundle. First time in a long time where I didn't play anything else than Javan and Maokai, so I was a really happy jungler.
Yeah, that was also one of the questions from chat, how it feels to be off J4 duty for a week. But let me paint a lookout towards playoffs. You've only lost 1 series now, and this was the second game here was the only game you've dropped since your defeat to Quantify 4. So how high is your confidence going into playoffs that you can bring the challenge to Quantify, who are as of yet unbeaten?
I mean, I wasn't on a team where we got beaten by Quantify. We had a scrim going on, it was very even, if I can say that. So it will be our biggest challenge. We will meet them in finals. We are that confident that we go to the finals. And then there will be a very, very good series ahead of us. It will be really good.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're confident.
I love to hear it. Usually, I don't I don't like the dumb questions in chat, but I'm afraid some of those dumb questions are being asked by Ice Arrow, so I'll get after. So, first of all,
God,
there are two I want to highlight here. So, first of all, can you 1v1 a giraffe? Is there context to this?
Yes.
Tell me. Please do tell.
I don't know what exactly he means, but I think there is a chance that you can 1v1 a draft.
You can 1v1 a giraffe, maybe in League, but these things weigh 600 pounds, man. Stop.
Well, yeah, it's like, honestly, it's that one thing, I forget what it is. It's like, men will always have that one animal that they think they can fight. Like, I could take on a bear. No, you couldn't. You can't do it. These things will knock you out. But the other one I want to ask, because I really want to know the context around this one. Why is Rock so bad at being a chef? There's got to be a story around this.
Big friends with Rock, so I want to restrain from that question.
Okay, yeah, so Ice Arrow is just flaming in the chat for no goddamn reason. Right, cool.
I've looked it up. Like, male giraffes will weigh up to almost 2 tons. You really think you can take an... Okay, better question. Can a giraffe play J4 and Maokai?
Okay, I think I have to go into detail. Like, how you 1v1 a giraffe, right?
Yeah.
Is... Like, they have, like, really tiny legs, right?
Right.
So you jump and drop kick one of the legs. It stumbles down. Then you go and push around the neck and do an RKO out of nowhere and stomp the head into the ground, and then you win, right? That's how you 1v1 a giraffe.
I'll just take that as face value.
Don't at me if you lose.
Well, there you go. It'll be so interesting to see you in playoffs. We'll be following you after the first round, where you'll be put in. But yeah, well done, Powerful. It was a close series, but it was a good one. And yeah, see you in playoffs.
All right, catch you later then. See ya.
See ya, man. Bye.
All right then. Thank you very much for the interview to Powerfruit, and congratulations to Gracelight Ruby on that victory 2-1 over Team 50/50. We're all looking forward very much to playoffs. And before Samurai will have the last word, I want to thank everybody. I haven't cast in a while, so I felt a bit rusty in the very early stages. But thanks to everyone for listening, and thanks for Samurai for having me. Looking forward to another cast, hopefully soon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining me as well. Lovely to cast. Group stage for Div 3 finally over. And you know what? I think I do have the energy for this, because I don't know if you know this, but there's a segment we usually like to do, recapping just the greatest from VL, making sure all the teams get a shout out. And you're right, it is the recap. It's the scores on the doors here in Found League. And with the 0-2 that Mystics have got, they've secured their place. And 2-0, the Div 4 teams have clashed. And it's Quantify Nova who make it out. It is action. Honestly, 2 of the games were forfeited, so I can't really hype this up too much. But do you know what this means? You now have your 6 playoff contestants. Quantify Nova, Quantify Force, Quantify Mystics, and Quantify Mayhem. Followed by, a lot of representation, but also...
That's a bunch too many quantifiers, my friend.
Oh, did I say too many quantifiers?
You said 4 of them.
Oh,
there's only 2.
It's Frostbite Mystics.
Mayhem and Mystics are actually belonging to the Frostbite
organization. Honestly, I should just become a part of Quantify at this point, because I'm shouting them out too much. Frostbite Mystics and Frostbite Mayhem join Gracelight Ruby and 50/50. 6 stand, but only 1 can take the crown of Division 3 winner. So stay tuned. Oh my, I'll never get one of those there will never be a score on the door recap I will not fuck up. It will just. But
you'll do it when the finals roll around. Before the game, you know, before the game, you tell the whole story of how it all went down, and then you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
and then you're never gonna make a mistake again afterwards.
And I'll be like, no, there's no other games to recap, and it actually turns out Limelight Avalon have forfeited another series somehow. They were playing a game, supposed to be playing that game tonight as well. Sorry, I don't know why I'm blaming them off the cuff. I'm gonna end this fucking stream. Thank you so much, man, for joining. It's been lovely. You know, it's always tough to get synergy, two casters, you know, casting together, and I felt like we flowed so well. Thank you for the chat as well. 40 viewers as well, I saw pop up recently. I think we got a bit higher. It's lovely to see that the work that I and so many in this 5v5 scene paying off, just getting a bit more attention here, and I just cannot wait for this scene to go to strength, Joe.
Yeah, I'm also very much looking forward to playoffs. With 50-50 showing some life in this series as well, I think even the lower bracket teams can bring the fight to our top two. And I just frankly can't wait. Thank you everybody for being here with us. And see you in playoffs. And good night.
See you in playoffs. All right, good night everyone. Love you all.